You wake up, you're all alone in a desert. There's nothing around you for miles. But there's a donkey in the distance. What's happening to the donkey? He's getting fellatio. Donkey fellatio. Fellatio donkey. Donkey fellatio. Welcome to Donkey Fellatio with your hosts, Sean and Caleb.
I don't think we've ever done that before.
I don't think we have.
No, I don't think we ever do that. We usually just say, like, fuck you, go ahead, do your thing. But you know what? I'm going to do an introduction. I'm going to
You're gonna go fancy.
I'm going to do that today. I'm going to do that. Because you know what? I'm happy. We got a good crowd right here. Jason pulled through. This is my buddy Jason from work.
It is me.
Really fun guy.
Big shout out to Jason.
That, but I don't know about all that. I don't know about fun, but I'm you know, I guess I exist. I'm okay. I'm kind of just decent, I guess.
I think
that's good.
I think you're a fun guy.
He's a decent fun guy.
A fun guy.
Yeah. Fun, like a mushroom.
Oh, I see.
This guy. You gotta watch him.
Because I'm funny. Holy shit. So I can't exactly remember where we left off last week. I think we kind of ended most of our stories, but
I think so.
I do have a few interesting ones.
Okay.
First off, I want to start off with dog coitus.
Dog coitus. Okay.
Accidental dog coitus.
No. Are we talking not bestiality, just dog coitus? Dog.
Yeah.
Okay.
More actually, no. Dog fellatio. Actually.
Dog. Okay. Dog fellatio.
It's not. It wasn't purposeful, but okay. So I'm just gonna go right into it. We're just gonna go full fucking force right now. So Pepper sleeps in my bed with me every night. He gets really mad if he's not close to me. He gets really mad if I do too much or move or anything. Yeah. And also in regular day-to-day life, he gets mad if people hug or do anything. So if you kiss or do anything sexual or anything of the sort, he's not having a fun time.
Okay.
So I'm in my bed with a person, and I am getting fellatio.
Okay.
Not donkey fellatio, but fellatio.
Fellatio.
Just fellatio.
Yeah.
And while I'm getting this fellatio, obviously, usually Pepper's very upset. We're trying. I'm just gonna go raw.
Pepper's being a cockblock.
Dude, we're trying to fuck, and it's not working. Like 3 hours, we're trying to fuck.
Oh man.
And he will not let up. He just gets fucking pissed and starts screaming at the top of his lungs. It's like 2 or 3 in the morning or something too, and it's like, dude, chill. Yeah. So it's not working. And then finally, I'm getting human fellatio. And he's still over in the corner. He's doing fine for a while. But then after like a few minutes, he gets up. And then he walks over. You know, obviously, you're getting fellatio. Your head's fucking back. You're not paying attention.
Yeah.
The other person's doing fellatio, so they're not paying attention. He walks up and he licks my balls.
Oh, shit. He's joining in.
Dude, I'm literally sitting there having a great fucking time.
Yeah.
Having a wonderful time. And then all of a sudden, I just feel
an extra tongue.
Slurp. Lips. And literally,
and you came immediately,
dude. I should have just kept going. Should have just paid. It should have been like a knocked up thing.
Yeah,
wasn't that knocked up? Where it was like, his dog. Seth Rogen was like, his dog licked my balls, but I just kept going. Oh no, that's 40-year-old virgin.
He tells the story though, right?
When they're playing poker.
That's right. Yeah.
In the Best Buy. So
never keep licking my balls.
And he was like, what'd you do? I finished. So I should have done that, but no. It was like. You think that it's something maybe you could ignore because there's other things going on. Because, there's ball licking going on too. So my balls were already being licked. So it's like maybe it's something you'd think like in theory.
They have an extra tongue or something? Or?
Well, no. Okay. So, maybe that's the problem. Because when you're on something else and then another tongue joins in, then it's like, wait, what's going on? So like,
there's only one person in the room. So
so it's kind of an issue.
Well, I'm one in you, but.
Enunciate.
What?
Talk louder. So I'm getting this stuff on my shaft.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden,
shafted.
Yeah. So so you really think that you wouldn't notice, but it's like, okay, I have this feeling on me. It feels great, and then it's like it doesn't just feel like another tongue comes into the equation. It's a tongue of different size, of different moisture, different everything.
Different temperature, I'm sure.
Probably a foot longer on top of that.
Yeah, exactly. A lot longer. And then I look down, wiener dog, by the way, dachshund. So I look down, well, like, it was like an immediate, like, different feeling, and it was all one motion. It wasn't like, this happened, then I looked down, then this happened. It was all at once. Like, I look down and I go, oh shit. I jump back. And I, like, literally, me and her both realize what happened immediately. We look at each other, just start busting up laughing. But it was also just, like, it was funny as fuck, but it was also just like, this is done. Like, we both just had that mutual, like, we didn't say anything. We was just like, this is done. Like, and that was fucking it. It was over.
But she didn't.
Oh, still hard.
She didn't notice Pepper coming in and joining, or
well, okay, so we were kind of in a weird angle. Like, I was like laying down, and then she was kind of like sitting down, like kind of by like under my legs, like kind of like under my ass area.
Okay.
You know, like she's sitting next to me and then like bent over.
Okay, I got you.
So yeah, so it was like she was faced the other way. Pepper was at the end of the bed, like away from us. Like I could have noticed if I was, you know, up and looking or anything, but I wasn't. So yeah, that's how that happened. You ever had a ball licking story from a dog? Has Belle ever like licked your balls or something?
Not
or, like
my
your
balls,
ass?
but definitely has.
See, wasn't in 40-Year-Old Virgin they were licking his ass, right? It wasn't his balls.
Yeah, it was ass. Yeah.
Yeah, it was ass.
Sort of licking my asshole.
Oh, it was asshole, huh?
I think so.
You're right.
Belle, so I got many times she'll just want to join in. She'll like a girl be on top of me, and then she'll just run in and be on my leg, humping my leg as a girl's like riding my dick or whatever. And then there's been times where I try to just like kind of shake her off without the girl noticing. So I'm like just shaking my leg and doing shit or whatever. And like so far she hasn't been caught yet by the girl. But I've had multiple threesomes.
Because that's what you have to do. You have to play it because otherwise it stops. It's over.
Yeah. Exactly. No, yeah. And she was facing me and Belle's down by my leg. So I'm just like trying to shake my leg off, reposition my legs and everything, do what I can do, and fucking she'll go away for a little bit, and then she comes back and just like right when I'm least expecting it,
same shit.
Pause, unpause.
She like wants to get in on the action or something.
Dude, it's like a VHS tape. You rewind it a little bit, play it back.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No. What about you, Jason? You ever any?
I think only thing just a cat.
Speaking of the mic,
staring at me. About it.
just looking at you.
Just
like do the little cat stare that they do.
Yeah, like what are you doing? Yeah. Like just fucking awkward as shit, and they don't blink, you know. So they're
staring into your soul and shit.
Oh yeah, obnoxious as shit. But I was not gonna get cock blocked by some fucking cat. So
by no fucking pussy.
No, guys, see, here's the thing. The first few times, like, we were hanging out, like I live with my grandparents right now, so, like, it's, like, I just don't bring people over, really. So I go out and do shit. So, like, we're, like, usually just in a car, like, doing whatever, and, like, one night she's like, hey, let's, like, we should go inside, and I'm like, it's not gonna work. I have a little wiener dog that's literally going to bark his fucking head off. It's not gonna work. Yeah. And she uttered the line. She was like, "So a little like 11-pound wiener dog is cock blocking," and I was like, "Yeah." And then she didn't believe me because she came over later, like met my grandparents or whatnot, and then like we go inside. And she's like, "Pepper's just being fun. He's just like cool and chilling, whatever." She's like, she literally was like, "You're lying to me. You lied to me earlier.
Making
you were
a
just,
liar out of you.
Yeah, you're just making fucking excuses or whatever." And then I was like, you'll see. Like, you don't believe me right now, but you're gonna see. And then like things kept going on. Like I think like at one point like we started like making out or like, you know, fooling around or whatever, and Pepper still wasn't doing anything. She was like, yeah, you're a fucking liar. And I was like, it's just I was like, he's just being weird right now, just wait and see. And then she stays the night and whatnot, and literally like the whole time like he sees something like starting to go on, he's like, "Rah!
Freaking out.
And he gets so pissed, and then I just look at her. I'm like, yeah, you still think I'm fucking lying? I was like, you think I was making fucking excuses? No, this is a child. This is literally a fucking child that I'm dealing with. It's ridiculous, dude.
Yeah.
It's fucking absurd.
I've tried locking her out of the room before. I close my door and she claws at my fucking door. How's that? Is that better? She claws at my fucking door.
Thank you, Rudy.
Rudy's on there?
Bad friends. Little Filipino girl.
Oh yeah. Okay. I don't know her name.
Wait, you're fucking racist. That's what gets you. I say little Filipino girl. You're like, oh, okay.
No, because you described what she looks like. That makes me like, because I don't know her name.
This fucking racist.
I don't know. I think that was fair.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, look. You can't describe people by their race.
Why can't you?
You can describe
racist.
What they look like.
It's racist. Okay, so there's this guy. He's wearing all white, a white car.
Like it's more racist to like avoid describing someone looks like it's because it's making it weird at that point.
Okay, describe Jason.
Jason is a black fella.
Whoa!
Damn.
Whoa! That's the first thing.
Well,
You couldn't go somewhere else?
No, that was what he should say first.
Yeah.
Whoa!
I mean, if he was gonna describe me, that's only fair.
Yeah. Come on now.
I mean, you can't get mad at that.
I'm not saying anything like hateful or nothing like that.
Whoa!
I mean,
Hateful.
It's just a description. If he were to describe me, he would say he's a white dude with like curly hair.
If I would I'd say broad shoulders, brunch walker, cool shoes, sometimes socks.
That's describing what he's wearing.
Black. I'm describing you.
Oh, me?
Idiot. What the fuck?
Okay,
I said
okay.
brunch walker, and you think I'm describing this fucking guy?
Okay.
You think I'm describing this man?
I'm
we have
stoned.
carried
I'm
brunch,
stoned.
if you think about it.
That's exactly where my mind went.
We have carried brunch.
I swear to God.
We serve brunch.
I don't know if I'd call it brunch.
Thank you, Jace, for backing me up.
Kind of brunch. I mean,
Yeah.
if you, it's
Well,
11:15.
You want to talk about that then? Me and Jason are lunch ladies.
Oh, shit.
Me and him are lunch ladies together.
Yes, we are.
Dope.
How do you feel about what we do, Jason?
I think it's cool. It's good. It helps feed children that sometimes don't have any other source of food, at home. And I think that what's wrong here?
No, keep going. Keep going.
He just pushed
Ignore
it
me.
more.
I think that no, it's good. I originally thought that this was kind of a really, I thought what's the point? These kids are already at home. They have food at home, and when it was explained that this meal that we serve is sometimes the only meal that they have the whole day.
Yeah.
And it puts things into perspective for you a little bit that you don't maybe think about. So, once it got kind of put to me that way, I think that it's a good thing that I can help out with.
Made it feel more like rewarding and whatnot.
Yeah, I think like wow, this is really maybe because of me, someone's eating
Yeah.
that wouldn't have otherwise. I think that's cool. I like that part of it.
It was beautiful, dude.
Yeah.
That was fucking beautiful.
I think
That was
that's
great.
pretty
I like
good.
that.
That's
Very much
why
so. Yeah.
that's where I stand on it. So you see that, obviously we get people that abuse the program, but
That's
you
more
can.
parents than kids, though. And
It
then,
is.
I
Yeah.
mean, there
But-
are kids when we're in session, but right now,
Right.
we have the whole coronavirus thing going on. So me and him are actually like, right now, we're literally just giving free food out to people. Like people drive up on like Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, and we just give them like free food.
Oh,
Like it's
okay.
either a bag of food or like a box of food, or like we're giving like gallons of milk and shit. And we definitely see people abusing the fuck out of the
We
system.
do.
Like people
Yeah.
that don't
But-
care, and like they go driving around school to school, buying a bunch of
several
shit.
things,
Yeah,
yeah,
the-
getting it for
Or not
free,
buy- well, not
actually.
buying it. Yeah,
There's always
getting it
gonna
for free.
be, yeah, there's
Right.
always going to be people doing that, though.
But
So-
Yeah. So-
you can tell when you get that one person that it means the world to them. You can see it in how they react to what they're getting.
And you know what?
It's-
And they're
it's-
so grateful, and like
when
you see
get
the people
those
coming
kind
in.
of people, it's like that makes the whole. Even if I had a bunch of freeloaders, that one person, it's like okay,
Yeah.
that makes it worth it. Then
Yeah, because you can't like cancel it or whatever
Right.
because some people abuse it.
but I
you know?
helped one person.
Yeah, because some people definitely need it.
and
Yeah.
and so
You know those kids that always come by to our school. Obviously, I won't give any like too big descriptions, but like there's these kids that always come by. That it's just two people. It's a brother and a sister. They always come by in that shitty little car. And like, they come by and they just get 2 bags of food. They get one for one of them and one for the other, and they're always just smiling and happy, and it's just like, you know what, like, it makes me feel bad that they're not abusing the system. Honestly, like, I literally want to tell
You
them, like,
want them
hey,
to be abusing the system.
I want them to. I'm like, I want to give you more.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly it. So, so I think it's pretty rewarding. I'd say it's a pretty good thing
Yeah.
to do. At least I don't feel like I'm wasting my time every day.
Yeah.
I'm actually kind of contributing in a way to I don't want to say society per se, but to,
Yeah, you're feeding people who need food.
yeah,
You know,
you
like-
In a way, maybe we're contributing to the better part of society. We
Yeah.
are society now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're
there is
great.
that. We are a little bit.
we are. Yeah.
At least I'm essential, I guess. There's that.
Yeah, that's what they call us.
I like that. Yeah, I guess that's cool.
Has a nice ring to it.
Yeah, you know, that's about it though.
Isn't everyone essential at this point though? Like, is there anyone that isn't essential anymore for the most part?
Pretty much.
I mean, I know there are people. I'm not trying to like shit on people that like can't
Yeah,
get jobs and whatnot right
no,
now,
of
and there's all that
course.
going on. And I know that is a thing,
That's
but like
not what we're. Yeah.
I'm talking about the coronavirus thing. Like everything's so like back and forth. Like it's open, it's not open, it's open, not open. But then everything that isn't open is still open. Like it's definitely worse right now, and there aren't as many jobs and whatnot.
Yeah.
But I feel like for the most part, like at this point in the coronavirus, isn't everything pretty much deemed essential? Like there's outdoor dining, there's fucking all this other shit.
Because like keeping all these businesses open, that's stimulates the economy.
Yeah.
And it's like if all these places close, if all these places end up having to close down, then that's going to make a worse problem later on.
Yeah.
So,
Well, you got to also look at this point, it's been dragged out for so long.
yeah.
That people are, people complied. And as you see, we've lost businesses. We've lost a lot of stores in the mall. We've lost
Dude,
a
I
lot
lost
of
my
places.
favorite eating place. I
And-
lost my favorite ramen place.
Yeah, a lot of
Precisely.
restaurants.
And like early on in the virus too, like 2 months
See,
after
that's
it
what I'm
started.
talking about. Is that point in
And now it's
time?
9 months.
But now you see that people are starting to push back. People
Yeah. They're
are letting
frustrated,
you
yeah.
eat under tarps outside.
Which really makes no sense, honestly.
But
They're
it's-
just making indoors, outdoors. But
yeah,
like,
you're indoors
it's-
but outside. Like I don't.
But
just,
their rule is that you can't eat indoors, right? So if you put a tarp up, it's not indoors, and
Yeah.
you're still able to serve a large amount of people that are able to sit down. So it's pretty much a middle finger to our governor, and as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
And today I was at the Tyler Mall, and I saw,
that's
obviously
another thing. The malls
they-
are still open. Like they're saying
Right,
all this shit's
but-
going down, but malls are open. It's a
Well,
weird.
it's like-
Where's the?
It's-
I don't know where the line
there
is.
is no logic.
Yeah.
And but they have the area roped off where you could sit down, and everywhere you look, there's those big things that you stand up behind all the food court restaurants.
yeah.
There's like those walls are little bitty, and on
Yeah,
the other side
separators.
the
Yeah.
other side is the booths. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Well, every single one of those people were standing there eating their food.
Yeah.
And it's like, dang, they're indoors.
It does-
They're not
yeah.
sitting down, so I mean, they're not like. But nobody is 6 feet from anyone,
No.
and
Yeah.
nobody at the mall. Like you see security, you see people that are janitors, workers at the mall, and they're not telling anybody anything because obviously they don't care either.
Yeah.
And
Was-
and it's like at this point, what is anybody going to do when all of these things that you get told are really suggestions?
Yeah, because you can't
It's-
force people to do it.
Right.
Like, just can't.
And people at this point are fighting back.
Yeah.
Which is good. If that's what you have to do to save your business, then of course, you're going to want to put food on your table. You're going to want to feed your
Yeah.
family, and you have things to pay for. Obviously,
Bills, all that
right?
shit, yeah.
People,
Well, but
car
really-
payments, other things, and in order to do that, you need to have your business open.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yo,
And-
they can't really afford to be even closed like a week.
Well, what it really comes down
Those are-
to is the shitty U.S. government. Like, really, how it should have
They
went
dropped the
is
ball big
they
time.
dropped the fucking ball. Like, you look at pretty much every other country on the fucking map right now, and they like closed shit down. They gave money to people so they could sustain themselves. They shut
Yeah.
it down for like 2 weeks, a month, or whatever, like a couple cycles, and then now they're pretty much fine. Like, it's still there, but it's like it's not so much there that they can't go out, they can't live their lives, they can't do all this shit.
Yeah.
And our government didn't do that. They gave us a little $1,200 check, which I mean,
Like
like
7
dude,
months ago or
you look
something
at
like that?
California. What the fuck does $1,200 do for everyone? For
Yeah.
anyone? And you know what? It's even worse too because they were supposed to give me that $1,200 check, and I didn't get it just because I accidentally marked off the wrong box on my tax thing. And they made it
shit.
such a pain in the ass that it's 9 months later. I still never got that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna. And you know what they were pretty much saying like, oh, you put in like your revised tax return and all this shit, and then you'll get it back. I did the revised tax return. It took like 5 months for them to even go through it.
Oh, man.
And then by the time they went through it, they were like, hey, it's been a while now. We're just not going to give you the $1,200. You'll get it on your next tax return. So it's like, okay, so I'm glad that I'm getting $1,200
Yeah, you'll
on my
get it
tax. I'll
more
get a
later,
nice tax
but-
return. Like, I'm not mad about that. But you know what?
But
if
you
I
need
was
it at this point in
exactly.
time.
Yeah, later
If
doesn't
I
help
was
you.
someone that was in a situation that I needed that $1,200 right then and there, they
Yeah.
fucked me. Like
Yeah.
I would be fucked.
Well, a
I
lot
would
of
literally
people
just
are
be
in that
dead.
situation.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, it's like I mean,
And then even if you got it, the $1,200 doesn't mean shit.
Yeah,
You live in
because
California,
it
that's
hel-
half of your expenses.
it helps you pay your bills for 1 month, and that's it.
No, it
Like,
helps you pay. If you're in California or like New York or something, because the United States, not every place is super cheap. that helps you for half the month. Most
That's what I'm
people
saying.
that
Yeah,
live around here, you
Like
need
half
like
your bills.
$1,200 doesn't even pay most people's rents.
No, yeah.
Or most humans rent.
What
Whatever
if
the
you
fuck.
live in a guest house? Maybe.
But
Yeah.
if you're
And
just
then
like
that's-
independent, you're
that's
paying for your own
California.
shit. I mean,
Yeah.
I know you could say like, oh, well, you're living in LA, you should be good, you're extravagant or whatever. But what about the people that are just like trying to like struggling? Like, I
Yeah.
mean, maybe people would get mad at me for saying this, but what about even like struggling comedians and shit like that, like in LA, that are just
Well,
like
yeah, it's-
they're trying to make ends meet. They're
You
they're
can't-
paying a high amount
they,
of money
lost
in a
their,
weird place.
Their
but-
way
Well,
of making
I mean,
money.
what
you know?
you're talking about a comedian, then you can't even do that anywhere.
Yeah, it's like all
That's
the,
another thing. Comedy's closed, so they can't
Yep.
do their job. They cannot make money unless they're like. Obviously, a lot of people have found their stride in podcasting and whatnot.
Yeah, a
like
lot
during
of
this
them gone to
virus.
podcasting because of
But
it.
then you're
podcasting's
not.
good,
but
but
they're
then
not
it's like-
making money. You're not paying for tickets. You're not
No.
paying for seats.
It's
you're
not
paying
enough
for,
at all.
Exactly.
You're not paying for popcorn and sodas and other things that are people walking around selling.
yeah.
You're not
Even-
paying parking. You're
You
not
talk about
paying
popcorn
for,
and soda and snacks. You think
know,
about like
any of
movie
that.
theaters and shit right now. They're not making. The only way that movie theaters make money is off of even like selling
yeah,
snacks and popcorn and all that shit.
Because the tickets aren't nothing.
And then
Like,
they can't
don't
even
really
they
get
can't
any
sell
of that.
tickets. They can't do anything like
Yeah.
movie theaters. If you're like if you're not a fucking chain, you're fucked right now.
Oh yeah, no, there's a
Drive-ins
lot.
are doing fine.
There's
but
gonna be so many businesses in the next 5 years that are just gonna be gone. Like just
Dude,
How
I've
about-
already
how about
seen
the
it.
next 5 months? I
Yeah,
mean,
Dude, the first 2 months, like I said, my favorite ramen place. It was the coolest place ever. Like, they served ramen. I started going there because they had good ramen. And, like, the first time I sat down at that bar, the dude, like, the owner sat down next to me. He was like, fuck yeah, dude, how's it going? Blah, blah, blah. This is my place. I was just asking him questions about how he
Cool,
started
chill
and
dude and
everything.
everything.
Yeah, dude, he gives me he makes me a michelada, which is also
Ooh, nice.
scarce for, like, ramen bars
Yeah,
and
yeah,
shit.
yeah, that's
like,
what-
you getting good ramen
Yeah.
and getting a beer that isn't an Asian beer, which, nothing
Yeah.
against Asian beer. I love
A
Asian beer. I love
sake
sake,
or-
but, like,
yeah.
I love just having a michelada or a Modelo or something while I'm eating whatever. Like, that's
Yeah.
my shit. And he has all that shit, and then he sits down, he gives me the remote to the TV right in front of the bar. People literally, like, walk in, and they're, like, watching, they're like, what is this? He doesn't fucking care. He lets me have the remote. He lets me watch whatever. I would, like, watch Cops, and I remember one time, dude, some dude came down and sat down one day, and he was like, what the fuck is Cops on? I was like, because I'm watching Cops, bitch. What the fuck? Like, what are you talking about? I'm watching this dumbass shit, and I'm going to keep
wrong with
watching it.
Cops.
It's because of bad
Watch
boys,
Cops.
bad boys. Yeah.
What you gonna do?
What you gonna do when they come for you?
And then, like, yeah, that was the coolest place ever. He even, like, hired this super cool sushi chef, like, working
Yeah.
there for, like, or not working there, but he'd been making sushi for, like, 30-something years.
Oh, shit.
This really cool fucking dude. And then, I even talked to that guy about making, like, YouTube videos with him where he was going to teach me how to make sushi and we're going to make sushi on, like, video and shit. We were legit, though. Like, it was going to happen.
Yeah.
And then it just all got fucked because
It
of
was
the virus.
pre-COVID?
Like, I kept going there. Like, I was going there all the time and picking up because I was like, I want to keep supporting them. And then
Yeah.
I go to call one day.
Just not
Gone. Just gone.
That's sad, man.
Coolest fucking place, man.
Yeah.
I can't even. Fuck.
Those kind of places are almost like
VV Ramen, dude.
VV
I don't
Ramen?
know if this will get to you guys. I'm sure it won't, but honestly, I can't remember their names at this point. I couldn't even remember like VV Ramen for a while. But it was VV Ramen. I fucking love you guys. I want to know what they're doing. Like, I'm really sad that I didn't get their number or something
Yeah.
because it was all so fast. I didn't expect any of it.
Yeah.
But they were all like the sushi chef, his wife, like all of them. They were all fucking cool, dude. Every time I went there, they would hook me up on the food. Like, I remember calling in and, you know, like getting some sushi, and it was still fucking fire as shit, but it wasn't like how it usually was. And then I remember like when I would go in and they would see me and then I would order something, it'd be like fucking like little sliced onions on it, like fish eggs, like
Oh,
everything on
nice.
top. Like they
Give you
would
all the
hook it.
fixins.
They'd give me like everything, like whatever I ordered, they would like do it up to the extreme. And they were just the coolest fucking people, dude. Every time I went in there, handed me the remote,
that's dope.
hooked me up with like some extra chilies on the side because he knew
you
I
were a
liked hot
VIP
stuff.
customer.
Dude, it was like I just love them, and I'm really
Yeah.
fucking sad about that. I'm really fucking sad about it, honestly.
Where was it at?
It was on University in Riverside.
Oh,
Southern
is that the one
California.
we went to.
Is it right by the?
Is that well? There's two on
right by the Wiener
University.
Schnitzel?
There's two on University. There's
We went to one in University Village.
Okawari, I think, is the one we went to. I think we went to Ramen Okawari because I think that was when I didn't find out about VV yet, or maybe they were closed because the hours were different. Pretty much, I would go to VV like at night because they were also another thing. They were open till like 12.
Yeah, those places like
A lot of them closed at like 9.
Is that the one like in the corner right there where there's Subway and there's that yogurt place?
It's right next to there's 1010 Ramen right there, and there's like a vape shop, Epic Vape.
Oh, okay, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
VV Ramen. Did you
Yeah,
see it?
yeah, I know what
Dude,
you're talking about, yeah.
There was literally the coolest fucking spot ever.
Yeah.
Coolest people. Just like there was.
I think I have eaten there before.
There weren't a lot of people who went there though. I was trying to put everyone onto it, honestly, because like, dude, and they had ramen at first. It was just like ramen, TV, beer, and that was awesome. And then they even like he was just going forth. Like he got sushi. He got a fucking whole sushi bar right there. I was like, this dude's awesome.
Did they have like those like hot plate things or whatever, where it's like cooking the ramen like on your plate or whatever? Like, it has, like
No.
And have that one.
Are you talking about like the
bowls? It's like a hot stone bowl.
Yeah.
No.
I know what you're talking about.
That wasn't that place.
Oh, okay.
There's one of those.
That might be 1010 because there's 1010 ramen right there.
Yeah, I think you're right. It might be 1010 then. Yeah.
It was 1010 ramen like right next to.
Because I've been there for sure.
Vivi. It was like four little spaces down or something. But yeah, dude, it fucking sucks. Like
It does suck.
I get like all this shit. Like I'm not like an anti-masker or like like a fuck the virus or anything like that. But I am in that boat of fuck the virus and fuck our government for not handling this right.
They didn't do
fuck
it
the
right,
people too of like everyone in the United States for like not handling it right. Because I get it. Like at this point, I don't get like the fucking white Trump supporters that are out there like, oh fuck this, fuck you, all that bullshit. But the side that I'm in, like, I feel like I'm almost in the middle of all of it, where I'm like, at this point, it really pissed me off to say this because I was literally like the person, like, I didn't go out for like fucking months or whatever. Like, I wore my mask and like all that shit. I really didn't go out at all. And I was following all the guidelines.
Yeah.
But then now I'm at the point where I honestly don't give a fuck about this virus. It's like, I give a fuck. I'm still taking like precautions if I know I'm around someone or whatever. And like, I don't want to fucking get it. I don't want to spread it. But like, it's just fucking stupid. We're at a point where this whole country is fucking stupid, where they're not going to follow guidelines. And people are going to fucking drag me for this, but I really don't care. Fuck all the people, like, for the most part, that are literally just like, oh, I'm still doing all of this. I'm still, like, I'm still following all of it. Because, like, not don't follow all of it, obviously, be safe, but it's like...
A lot of people are using it as like a moral high ground to stand on.
They are. And at this point, it's like, dude, I did that shit for like 5 months and I'm still doing it to an extent, a really big extent. Like I still obviously don't fucking want it or want to spread it, but I'm just fucking, I know that at this point, I've seen things that have gone on my entire life. Our government has never been in a good spot. We've never really been like, in the time that I've been alive,
it's always just been contentious.
It's always just been shit
ways.
after shit after shit. Like I have not been alive long enough to see anything good over the course of my life going on in this society and in this world and in the government. And right now, like, society is so fucked up that there is no way that after 9 months we are going to get everyone to just wear a mask and stop going out and do everything, because there's idiots out here who aren't going to listen. There's people out here who are tired of it. Like, it's just so many different levels that we're not going to get to that point where we can just solve it like that. Like, it's just fucked at this point.
They haven't like put towards any plan to like where it seems like anything's going anywhere. We're just like almost like they want everybody to just huddle up and wait.
They keep going back and forth on, we're doing this, we're doing that, we're not doing this, we're not doing that, we're doing this, we're doing that. And it's like, dude, like, and in the beginning, you should have picked one fucking thing. If everyone listened, that's one thing. But obviously, Americans are fucking stupid. They're not going to... There's so many... Like, you know the South Park bit where it's like they're doing the 9/11 episode, and Eric Cartman's like, oh, 9/11 this, and 9/1, and 9/11, and all this, and like, Kyle started the Holocaust. But anyway, you move on. He's like... So, do you think that 1/4 of everyone in America is retarded? Because he's like... I totally set that up terribly, but he's like, that 1/4 of the population believes that 9/11 was a conspiracy. And then he's like, do you believe that 1/4 of the American population is retarded? And Kyle's like, yeah, absolutely. Of course. And then Stan's like, yeah, at least 1/4. And it's like, dude, like, even if we have 1/4 of that, America is so big that if a virus or a pandemic or some sort, if the plague came back today, like, let's say, hypothetical, we have no medical knowledge whatsoever. We don't have anything to go off of. We're back in those days. It's the fucking plague. Well, but we're fucked. We're just all gonna die. But because there's no way that we can get everyone in like a populated area, let alone, but in America. Yeah. No. Okay, I'm gonna stop mansplaining.
It's like a fucking. I think social media has made everything so much worse, because like it's everybody. Like I said before, it's like people using it as like a moral high ground to stand on, to say, hey, what
about meme culture, dude? We're in meme culture.
Well, yeah,
anything that happens is a fucking joke.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like
it's good though.
It's good, but also ridiculous.
But it points out all the bullshit,
and stupidity.
Yeah. But
if you go out and
and it
act a
does,
fool
but-
in public, you're gonna get
Okay.
shamed.
Yeah.
So I'm not talking about that side of meme culture. You know, there's a meme culture that obviously it's like I would say I'm meme culture because I'll make fun of fucking anything because I think it's funny. Terrible podcast etiquette because I think it's funny.
That was it's your phone. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, you're right. So I will make fun of anything because I think it's funny, but at the same time, then you put out memes and there's like fucking dumb little kids who think it's serious. Okay, you know what? I think I'm on a weird trip right now because I just watched the 6ix9ine documentary last night. It's on HBO Max. I actually started a while ago. Tekashi 6ix9ine. I started a good while ago, but I didn't finish it. And then I was just looking for something to watch the other day, and I saw that, and I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna fucking watch this. I watch it and it's just this whole story. At first I was like, okay, are they kind of like on his side? Like they were kind of painting a good picture of him, and I was like, I almost think I kind of like this guy. And then, you know, as it goes through with the documentary, then they start talking about him like beating his girlfriend and like, you know, getting into the real gang shit and just like, you know, just doing everything for attention and whatnot.
Snitch.
Yeah, and he's a snitch. Of course they get into that, but that's beside the point. And they get into all that shit. I'm like, all right, yeah, fuck this guy. But but they're talking a lot about how he was so relevant, and he literally like, dude, drop fucking videos with like 50 million views in like a week, which is insane. Like people get that after just their entire life of like their shit being on YouTube for like the existence of YouTube. And he gets that shit. He does everything. Like he breaks those world records for, and I remember seeing all of it when it was going down. The Instagram live, he had like, I think it was like 2 million people on at once, which was the most like ever. Like I literally hopped in that live because I was like, what the fuck? Like this is crazy. My friend sent it to me and he was like, dude, you got to look at this shit. And I look at it, it's 2 million views on that. I don't remember what it was for his fucking video that Belle Delphine parodied, but it was like was it Gummo? I think that was the one with the shark and shit. Like when he came out, he was like, he does the one where he puts the rat emoji on his face and he like goes ha 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 and all that. He's pretty much just like saying like, yeah, I'm a rat, fuck you, all this. And it got like, I think like 500 million or something. I think that's probably the number, something like that. Like an insane amount of views, and it's because like he puts this shit out here, and there's all these young kids that are looking at. They're looking at the money. They're looking at the girls. They're looking at this. They're looking at him wearing like these shirts that just say like HIV, AIDS, just N-word, just just like fucking head to toe, like this fucking white boy wearing all this shit, and it draws people to him. And there's that side of meme culture where you'll put out shit, and it's that side of the fucking South Park thing where like, you know, the 9/11 conspiracy, 1/4 of Americans being fucking retarded. And you put it out there, there's the retarded side of it where they're like, oh yeah, I'm fucking 40 years old, but I'm a fucking idiot, so they're gravitating toward it. And then there's these like 9 to like 15-year-old, maybe even like a little older if you wear a snapback, and there's all these people that are also gravitating toward that. So it's like there's two sides of it that are really weird. Like I love it and I would never stop it, but it's also like it's that crowd effect where it's like, obviously I'm never going to stop it because where the fuck is it going to go? And then there's that other side of my brain where I'm like, okay, maybe should I feed into this? Should I not? Like I'm part of that crowd, but it's like it's a never ending cycle where it's just going to go the way it is. Like I can even try to be someone right here where I'm talking, I'm explaining, I'm fucking like, you know, like, but what am I going to do to change anything?
You're not. Like you're not gonna do anything to change anything, but like,
and I try, but like I'm not.
I just felt like because like his like algorithm of like getting like, you know, noticed
mansplained so much my throat hurts.
Like he just fucking it's like I'm gonna do anything that's like that's gonna garner attention.
Yeah.
And no matter what it is, I'm just gonna do that.
And if you are some kind of figure that I will say he's a genius.
Well, like it works. It works, but
he's a terrible person. But he's
also
a genius.
hate that it works. Like
I hate that it works
because there's so many people getting like famous now for doing stupid shit. Like,
but if you're one of those people, you can influence pretty much the fucking world.
No, that's true.
Or like
but
at least
that's the social media aspect
of the world.
Yeah. Well, because you have so much more. It's so much easier. to reach
because
people,
you know what? I'm going to put kids and retarded people in the same category.
About the same.
They're
about the same.
They're the same thing, dude.
Yeah.
I'm going to put our words higher.
Our words are higher?
Our words are higher.
Okay.
I feel like I've said it too much, so I gotta slow down. That's where I gotta slow down a little bit.
Dude, just put your foot on the brake a little bit.
But that's my take.
Yeah. I'm not. I hate that shit. Like people getting famous for just I don't know. So it's a weird society we're living in.
Strange times, man.
Strange times.
The internet world is fucking weird. It's it's something that is never going to change, but we're living in it, and it's growing and growing. It's changing every fucking day.
We're at like the beginning of it. You know what I mean? Like
we're so early.
It's so because like internet became like really a thing in early 2000s. Like I mean it was like around
I grew
the
up
90s,
through the internet.
but yeah, exactly.
I grew up at a weird time. Like you guys are obviously older than me, but I grew up at a time where it was like the internet like popped in, and then it was like okay, that's cool, that's interesting.
Yeah,
it was VHS tapes. It was fucking like dial-up fucking internet, almost like just like Windows 98, all that shit. Like my earliest memory was probably like Vista and shit like that.
Yeah.
Or what was before Vista?
It was just like Windows 98 and shit like that.
Yeah, so
like,
those are like my early ones. Like I know dial-up was around when I was born, but I don't have a lot of memories of it. But it was like Vista and Windows 98 and shit like that, and me looking up like Big Tits
terrible.
Boss after me finding BigTitsBoss.com after looking up boobs, and then like shit like that. And, you know, my dad walking in on the living room and going like, "What are you watching?" I'm like, "Boobs.com, dude. What the fuck are you talking about?"
Having a computer like in the living room.
In the living room, right next to the TV. So right when my fucking parents would come home through the garage, through the front door, boom, Big Tits Boss.
Yeah. It was harder to get like. You know, now we have our phones, so we can just go fucking
dude. It
watch
was so
porn
fast
anytime
for me.
we want to.
It was Windows.
So,
it was like nothing, and then Windows 98 in the living room, and then fucking all of a sudden, okay, we're moving off of VHS to DVD, and then before you know it, fucking I have a BlackBerry or I have a flip phone, and then I have a BlackBerry, and then it's fucking
exponential
now
growth.
we're getting to Blu-ray. Now we're getting to like better video games
Every
that
year,
like
dude.
looked real,
Every single
more
year
and more
getting,
real.
We're like all the like the sci-fi like technology that we see in movies in like the past 30 years. It's all coming true. It's all like becoming real.
You know what's really funny though,
It's
when you
crazy.
watch movies that are like over exaggerating, and you get to like 2020, and you're watching, they're like, "This is what 2020 is gonna be like."
Well,
and there's
what people
like
thought
flying
2000
cars
was
and
gonna
like
be
all
like-
this shit.
Yeah.
I love
especially.
those. I love those.
Yeah.
Definitely good stuff right there.
It's like
What
fucking-
year was the Flintstones?
Oh, that's
Or no,
long
not
time.
the Flintstones.
The
what was
movie
the
or the-
No, what was the space one that reminds you?
Oh,
of
Jetsons.
The
That's
Jetsons.
old.
That's kids.
What,
That's when I was a
what
kid.
year was
Yeah.
that
Remember
set
that.
in though?
Oh, I don't know.
2000, I think, wasn't it?
So, yeah, definitely
I
2000.
think 2000.
I can't remember if they like.
That's what they kept saying. I think either 2000 or 2020 or something like that, wasn't it?
I'm gonna find this out right
Something
now.
like that.
It's supposed to be.
Everybody's in Sky Cities.
I remember as a kid, they had me convinced that we were gonna have flying cars by now.
Yeah.
Same, dude. I was positive.
I'm
I was
very,
like, holy
but
shit.
as I got older, now that I drive, and I see how people are on the road, I'm very happy that we do not.
Yeah, that would be
okay,
terrible.
2062.
Okay.
We don't. And that's
Within our lifetimes.
no deal.
You know
though.
what? Oh, Flying Cars 2062. I see that.
No.
I can see that in 20.
I can see that.
The
I'm
way-
not saying it's going to be
well,
good.
'cause
I'm saying
the
I can see it.
Technological boom is like really like we haven't even come close to the peak yet.
Nah.
Like it's but like from like
Why
the
no?
80s to now, it's like crazy how much we've what's that?
I'm
Why
asking
not?
Jay, why no? He's saying
why
no.
no?
Why no?
Like they're not going to
So-
be there,
so-
or like
Look at people years ago, and look at things, right?
Into the mic, Jason.
Versus something like this. This is hand sanitizer, and you have stuff that says like "do not eat."
okay.
If you have to tell somebody to not eat shit like this, that tells you that we as a
We ain't ready.
we are regressing.
We're not there
We're
yet.
devolving.
We are yes, we are getting fucking stupider.
We're still trying to run up the down escalator.
We're getting stupider
Yes.
yet we have more information at hand than ever before.
But that's why.
Yeah,
it's
'cause it's too
because
easy,
it's
you
because
think?
I can go on
What-
Google.
Okay, what about this?
and-
What about this side of the argument? It's for kids.
What is?
The do not eat.
You think that's what it is, huh?
No,
No.
there's plenty
I'm
of
just
plenty
trying
of
to put-
adults who will
I'm
eat
trying
that.
to put another perspective in here. All right, this isn't
But,
mine.
I know
mean,
grown
just-
men who will eat that. Like,
See,
yeah,
you know, look at the
Do you wanna-
Tide.
do
Look
you
at
wanna
the,
name 'em?
Look at the Tide
I
Pod
won't
thing.
do that. yeah.
Look at the Tide Pod thing.
Well, but that's also
Who was doing that though? Kids, right?
Okay, but
Did
that-
you? Were there
it's not-
any adults? Yeah,
I'm sure
you know
there
what?
were.
Yeah,
but
there
it's,
were.
but it's people
There
people
were.
doing it for attention too. Is also thing. That's the social media aspect of all this.
Well,
is people
you can
people
get famous
will-
off of eating a Tide Pod.
Exactly. People do dumb things just to get their 15 minutes of fame, and it's like it's so rewarded nowadays where it's just making people do dumber and dumber shit.
But now it's because of that you got warnings. Do not eat our
Yeah.
soap.
Yeah, don't.
Like-
Yeah, you have to have a warning on everything.
But I
now.
think the
That
warnings were
is-
there even when people were
Don't
eating
swallow.
Tide Pods.
But it's because of people eating Tide Pods and
Yeah.
doing things that are just blatantly stupid that you should
Yeah.
know better, and they do it and then get sued over it. These people sue
Yeah,
them
that-
over it. So they have to put warnings to cover their asses.
Yeah.
Because they know that people are fucking dumb.
That's that they have to the little the fine print on everything is so much shit that
It is.
Yeah. Well, that's like what
It's
they do
like-
when they write laws. It's because this
Yeah.
happened once or whatever. Then they have to make it so particular.
And either somebody died or
Yeah.
got sued over it.
Yep.
So it becomes a thing.
Avoidance of a legal battle. Mm-hmm. Pretty much. How do you play?
That's what I would say.
Oh, well, I was going to just like hold that up for like once this conversation was over, but now that you've already seen it, so yeah, you've already seen it. So Jason, one thing that I did want to do today. Okay, we're gonna do this real time. So we wanted to watch a video. This is a video that Sean, you can explain it better.
Okay, so this is like 10 years ago.
You explain it. I'm gonna take a piss and then we're gonna start this.
We had me and my friends, we had this thing we call it the chode face, and it's just squinting like this and doing that. That's all it was. And then we worked together, and we always used to catch we turn around, then we catch us with the look or whatever. It was just like some stupid thing we did. And so this is like a video we made about that. And then in the background, like those like shows where it's like craziest car accidents or craziest wild disasters or whatever. We kind of just like made the voiceover of that and played it in the background. And so it's just like some like I'll wait for him to come back, but it's just some like stupid shit like that. But
I'm gonna have to take a look at it.
she acting calm? She's napping over here.
Wow.
I'm hearing dead air.
There was not dead air.
Am I walking
There was
back
no
to dead
dead air.
Not really, at least.
Am I walking back to dead air?
We both had emotional breakthroughs right now.
Oh shit. Okay, well that's fine then.
Yeah.
So we're gonna watch this video called, and guys, our setup is we're gonna figure this out eventually, but oh shit, now
You're opening a Word document?
Look,
Right on.
dude.
We're gonna write a book
Oh
report.
yeah.
Look, dude, I haven't been in college in a while. I don't need to do that right now.
Tell me what you know about Ben Franklin.
Okay, so
0. No, I'm just kidding.
so right now we're gonna watch Sean's video, The Chode Face.
Hey, what's up, man? What's going on? How's it going? How you doing? Oh, pretty good. Just watching World's Scariest Car Mishaps.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh, I
dude.
love that show. Let's watch it.
Whoa there, slow down, Helen Keller.
Oh, is this number 5?
Yeah, dude, it's brand new one.
Yeah, Helen Keller.
Oh,
Helen Keller?
Number 3?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
I thought
Nuns
it
on
was
the
Home
Train.
Teller.
Oh,
I was
God,
like, what is
classic.
that? I was like, is that some
Over the
term?
time when that semi-truck full of time cod DVDs crashed into that pole and they went flying everywhere.
Oh, man, that one was great.
No one picked them up, though.
Yeah. Don't blame him.
Is that
Oh,
Sean?
man.
No, that's my brother.
That's his
Oh,
brother.
was
Can we
like,
say his name?
apparently, Don
Scott,
Cheadle
yeah.
was a guest
Scott.
appearance on this.
We gotta get him on the
Hey,
show.
where's Sean?
Yeah, we look a lot like.
Can you get him in the next
He's
2
at work
weeks?
right now. He's
Probably,
doing
yeah.
what he did.
I think Maria and Brian want to come on next week,
Okay,
but we should get them on the
Couple
next
more weeks?
episode.
Okay.
Yeah.
sounds good.
Hey, man, I've been meaning to ask you something lately.
What's up?
It's kind of about Sean. Like, it's kind of not a really big deal, but it's kind of a big deal, you know? Losing a little bit of sleep over it.
Really?
You notice this like a face that he's been making lately?
No.
Hold on, I gotta
No?
pop.
What kind of face?
Well,
Oh,
I
good
guess
side,
I can't really
good side.
explain it very well. You'd have to kind of see it.
Okay, so I gotta pause.
Uh,
I watch movies like this all the fucking
Yeah,
time,
yeah.
like horror movies like
Where they
this,
look like
where
this?
like
Yeah,
they
yeah.
look exactly like this. The acting is exactly like this. The audio is exactly like this.
Like
the
no
editing
boom
is
mic,
like this. Yeah, no boom mic or anything. It's just raw audio from the camera.
Yeah.
and then like, but they purposely do it like this, even though it looked. What is this?
2009 or
2011?
11.
So they look like 2008 to 2011 kind of films, like
Yeah,
purposely,
yeah.
or they were filmed like around then, or in like 1998 or something.
Yeah.
Like this movie Butt Crack by Jim Larson. It's
Butt Crack.
it's just like this, and it honestly feels at home. And I love
Yeah.
your brother for editing it this way. I think it's great. Okay, let's go.
But it's just a really unnatural face that he puts on, you know. It's kind of
Who made the
crazy.
music?
No, you haven't
Scott.
noticed anything, or
You made it?
No, I've never seen him, man.
You haven't.
We
Alright,
need
well,
him.
I mean,
He's used like a
I
piano.
just wanted to bring it up to you, you know. But I guess if I see it or he does it when you're around, I can point it out to you.
Yeah.
Try to take a snapshot or something, you know. Try to get it to you.
Yeah, I'll keep my eyes out, man.
All right.
A snapshot.
I've been trying to warn people.
Trying to warn people. Those one-off comments.
What's going on, guys? Hey!
It wasn't the right side.
Huh?
It was the right side, but there was still some.
Is
that Sean?
Yeah, that's me.
Young Sean.
Hang a Yui.
Babyface Sean.
Sean with no beard is uncomfortable. We gotta do a baby picture episode and like find like our old pictures.
I got some baby pictures.
Whoa!
Here comes the chode face.
What? He's doing what?
Who knew trying to merge on the freeway on a big wheel would end in such bloodshed?
What are you talking about?
And that's Sean's friend in the middle of the couch narrating,
Jake,
right?
Yeah,
narrating like
he's
the
doing
movie.
all the voices in the back. Yeah.
Maybe he was the Bop It guy.
Watch what happens when a convertible crashes head-on with a machete truck. In the realm of artificial
fucking
strength,
sideburns.
strength always wins.
Enough time has passed that Jake was able to completely forget the creepy events.
It's going back to normal.
What?
Dude, this Twilight Zone ending is literally the best thing in the world. Just the you pull out and it's just boom, you're all there. You're fucking. It's like
Just all choking
it's
it
so
up.
psychological.
That was pretty good.
The credits fucking kill me. Isn't it Dumb Fuck Productions?
Dumb fuck.
In my
Yeah, you
80
dumb
years
fuck.
experience in law enforcement, I've ridden in a lot of cars with boys.
Cancel. Okay. Okay, yeah. So that's what I knew we had to show that. I really want to show my Club Penguin music videos too, but I can't because they'll all
the music?
they'll all get copyright
Yeah,
claimed.
yeah.
I'm pretty sure all of those like I wouldn't know because I can't get onto that account anymore, but they're definitely all copyright striked.
You could play like the music in just like a higher tone, I think, and do something like that.
Something like that, maybe.
Because I see a lot of people doing that when they post like
or like do it faster or some shit
yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah, or just yeah, like almost like sped up a little.
I'll look into that. Maybe we could do
Yeah.
that like a later
Because I think
one.
there's ways around it. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Jason, what'd you think about that?
That's pretty good. It's pretty funny.
Do you like the?
I would-
do you
I
like
would-
the jokes, the production quality?
Yes. I wish
Yes.
wish I was able to be in that room at that time.
It was, we made magic that day.
It looks like it. I would have appreciated that for sure.
So one other thing I did want to talk about, just because it's really, we should hit some topics sometimes. You know,
Some,
some
okay.
current news. Do
Some
you?
currents.
I think I talked to Sean about this earlier, but Jason, did you hear about Shia LaBeouf?
I don't follow a lot of news really lately.
Well, Shia LaBeouf was just, I guess we'll say accused at the moment, but it's not accused because he actually admitted to it.
Okay.
But pretty much
Whoa.
FKA Twigs, his ex-girlfriend, came out and said that he's been really abusive physically and mentally, and came out with a lot of stories, like pretty much on, I have it right here. Just after Valentine's Day in 2019, the musician FKA Twigs was in a car speeding towards Los Angeles. At the wheel was her boyfriend, the actor Shia LaBeouf. He was driving recklessly, she said in a lawsuit filed on Friday, removing his seatbelt and threatening to crash unless she professed her love for him. They were returning from the desert. I'm not going to read all of it right now.
Sounds
You guys
like
can
some
look up the
Shia LaBeouf
article.
stuff, though.
But pretty much it goes on. He ends up like raging and like she gets out of the car. He grabs her, throws her against the car, like screams at her and whatnot. A lot of stuff like that. And pretty much I read the whole article earlier, so I'm not going to go over all of it right now. It's really long. But they keep going on, and he pretty much makes her like live with him in LA, like leave her because she lived out of the country. I can't remember where. I think it might have been in the UK.
Okay.
But she lived out of the country, and he pretty much was like, no, you got to stay here or whatnot. And she pretty much came out with the story like, hey, he abused me, even though he's in this position. I couldn't get out of it for a while. And after it came out, he actually came out and made a statement and pretty much like, I did that stuff.
He's like, my bad. Like, he's like, my bad.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Well, no, I haven't followed anything. I haven't seen anything on that, but that sounds pretty shitty. I mean, it's one of those. It's this is some people getting more, more coverage for what, like if that happened anywhere else,
no one would care. Like,
so you want to just
'cause
air
he's
your dirty
famous.
laundry out. It's like everybody needs to hear it.
no.
I mean, I think it's unfortunate for her. Obviously, that really sucks. I wouldn't wish for anything bad like that to happen to somebody. But to me, at the end of the day, it's just
It's like
some
a relationship
idiot raging,
shit.
having a bad, people do much worse than that on a daily, I think.
Well, but there's more to the story. You'd have to really read into it to all
Yeah,
of
I
it. But
probably
really,
would.
he was very abusive to her, really shitty, like physically. Like he pretty much. I don't want to quote it exactly what happened, but I
But
remember.
did
reading,
she
like,
deserve it? I'm just kidding.
Did she? No, she did not. Yeah, but it was a really shitty story. Really, what I want to talk about again, I want to go circle back over to the whole 1/4 of Americans are fucking shitty, because when I'm going on Twitter and looking at all of it, it's one thing, like, obviously, like, you don't want to defend rape of you, or like people that are accused of rape and like fucking like violence and shit like that. Like, obviously look more into things. So we've talked about before, like cancel culture. You don't just go and cancel people immediately. Like, there are issues like, Johnny Depp and his fucking wife, and like, how that kind of all turned into like, it was the exact opposite of what they said it was.
Yeah.
But on this, you have this situation where this guy was abusing a woman and then he admits to it. So it's like, there isn't really any black and white in it. Like what he said was pretty much some things are untrue, but a lot of it is true. So he's admitting to abusing her, like physically and mentally. So knowing that, I go on Twitter and I'm looking at comments and shit, and people are still just like, no, fuck that, this is bullshit. She didn't fight, or she didn't do this, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, you even heard me. The first thing I read was she filed a lawsuit and whatnot. People were like, oh, well, it's this kind of lawsuit, not this one, so it doesn't matter, and this, that, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, all right, dude, like, you have this story where not only is someone, like, accusing someone of fucking violence and abuse and all this stuff, and, like, literally, like, entrapment, pretty much.
Yeah.
Because there were other stories where, like, she said she was actually, like, packing her stuff up, trying to leave, and he would come home and, like, literally lock her in a room and, like, not let her leave.
It just sounds like a crazy boyfriend.
Exactly. Yeah. So, well, I'd take it farther than crazy boyfriend. That's fucking psychopathic shit. Like, locking someone in a room and not letting them leave. That's basically like kidnapping, that's fucking terrible. So you have that situation, and not only is it someone accusing him of something, but he comes in and says, yeah, that was me. And you still have people like going like, oh, fuck that.
Well, people are always going to want to defend someone they like, regardless of what they did or not. But
it's fucking weird, dude. Like, this whole thing of like defending people that you don't even know is strange. Like, obviously, like, even if
like,
someone, even if someone that I knew did this, it'd still be like, fuck you, you're a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Especially if they admitted to it, I'd be like, yeah, immediately. Like, because I mean, I had a thing where like someone did something shitty, and I mean, we talked about it. I think it was on a thing that we didn't upload, but I'm uploading the bonus one, so maybe just talking about episodes of this show. But I had a thing where someone tried to cancel me because pretty much someone said, she posted a picture of like this dude, and she was like, oh yeah. Okay, let me gather my thoughts. Okay, so it was a picture. There was two dudes in it, but it was the same dude, one with glasses and one without glasses.
Okay.
And they were like, oh, this dude really tried to get away with cheating on his girlfriend by saying it was some other dude that looks like him. Like, it was a Photoshop picture. And I look at it, I'm like, okay, well, this story just sounds outlandish. I don't know if this is true or not. And I knew the guy, so I'm like, okay, I'm going to message him. So I messaged him, ask him what's going on, and then all of a sudden I get looped in where they're like, oh, you're letting him know what's going on, you're a piece of shit, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, I'm just trying to figure out what it is. Like, even if not just for the fact of, I don't know if I should cancel this guy right off the bat, I'm also just looking because I want the tea. I just think it's funny either way, so I kind of want to know.
Also,
not him cheating on her.
Well, no, but hearing both sides of the story.
Yeah, I'm not that person where I'm just going to blindly listen to one side. Like, I don't give a fuck what it is or what it's about. Like, even if it comes down to me blindly believing a side or whatnot, or like, going with one side right off the bat and not wanting to look into it for that reason, I'm still going to look into it just because I like looking up shit. I like reading into things. I like knowing more things. 'Cause even if it's shitty or if it's whatever, like regardless of what I think about it, like I like researching shit even if I know I'm not gonna like it. You know, because it's like it's just I want to know more about.
Yeah,
I want to
exactly.
educate myself about whatever the fuck I'm talking about. I don't want to just blindly go in and be like, oh, okay, this is fine.
Well, yeah.
Well, it's something you're interested in. You know, obviously.
And I'm interested in everything, personally.
But you're not looking up everything. You know, stuff that you're willing to spend time to educate yourself on, obviously, has gathered your interest.
Yeah, I mean, I educate myself on not only like outside topics, but even if I do something that I think is shitty or like weird or I don't know how I feel about it, I want to analyze that and figure out exactly what's going on. You know?
Yeah. Got to self-analyze.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, it's makes you a better person. You like see things that you're doing wrong, how you could be better, all that kind of stuff.
I mean, dude, I'm the first to admit that I've done shitty things in my past. Like, I haven't been physically abusive and stuff like that, but I mean, I've been mentally abusive at a time. Like when I was in like high school, you know, when I was like fucking 17, like probably even into 18, like a little bit. Like I was a shitty fucking person. Like I was in a relationship where like, you know, I mean, I won't say that there wasn't anything on the other side either, but I will say that I was the one like in the wrong in like the overall picture of it.
Weren't acting like your best self.
No, I wasn't. I wasn't like I you know what it is? I think I was acting like me for the time. You know, like I think that I thought I was a different person. I thought I was someone else. I thought I fucking knew myself and all this and shit. But really, I was just like self-destructive. I was fucking shitty to other people. I was just like I didn't fucking care. I thought I cared about things that I didn't. I thought that, you know, I knew what was going on, but I fucking didn't, you know?
Yeah.
I was shitty. Like, I was shitty to my fucking ex-girlfriend. I was like, you know, I got mad about, like, you know, her wearing certain things or, like, you know, going out with, like, people.
So-
like,
so
I'd get fucking jealous. I'd bring my insecurities out onto her.
You were shying it up a little bit,
Yeah, explain.
buffing it up a little bit.
Oh. I think when you said shying, my mind went to, like, I was being shy. Shying it.
Shying it, I should say.
Yeah,
like
so
that.
honestly, a little bit. Like, I'm the first to admit that. I was fucking shitty, and, like, I won't even excuse it, like, saying, like, oh, I was young, so it's okay. Like, no, I was young, and it wasn't okay. I was
okay,
young,
but
and it was fucked up.
I don't think anything like that can make someone just a bad person permanently. Like, it's just like you're not... What you did was shitty, but it doesn't mean that they can't change, that they can't...
Dude, in cancel culture, if some of the stuff that, like, I just, like, did or said or whatnot in the past came out, like, I'd be canceled.
That's the
straight
problem
up.
with cancel culture. They want to judge... You're judging people off of stuff that happened either a long time ago or you don't know the whole story and you just want to cancel just because of something you hear. Like, you have nothing to do with that. Like, it's not like... just jumping on board, like saying I don't like somebody. It's the same thing like I was saying before, where it's like everybody's looking for this moral high ground to like put someone down, when it's like you don't know exactly what the person has been through or anything like that. I don't know. I think there's less compassion for people nowadays on both sides of it. You know, like it's I mean it's good that the like the whole Me Too movement thing. Like all that getting recognized, and but there's also,
you know what? There's the dark side of it.
Exactly.
And you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and say I'm not gonna mention names or mention anything too specific right now because it's actually an ongoing thing and something that's pretty fucked up. But in my family right now, I pretty much have. I'm not even gonna get into specifics of who it is because there might be people out there that could figure it out. But there's pretty much someone in my family who there's two people that have kids. I'm related to one of them in a kind of a way. And the baby mama of this kid pretty much took the child away and like, well, they did like a visitation thing. It was like, like every couple of weeks, like month to month or something like that. Took the child away and then pretty much said that, called one day and said, hey, he's not coming back. He told me that he was molested and whatnot. And we're like, holy shit. Like immediately we're just like on that side. We're like, dude, what the fuck? Like this,
if it's a kid's thing,
yeah, it's serious. He's 3 years old. So like he's super fucking young. So I'm like, okay, what the fuck? Like, fuck this. And there's this whole ongoing thing, and then all of a sudden I found out a couple days ago, she just goes, she drops the charges, doesn't tell us anything, drops him back off the house. Come to find out, all a lie.
See that
lied about her own child
that kind
getting
of shit,
raped
like
to try to keep her child. Like I don't care about either of them involved. I don't talk to either of them. I fucking
using
hate.
a child
I
as a
hate the
pawn.
father. I hate her for my own personal reasons. I've had my own experiences with them, and I fucking hate them.
Yeah.
But the thing is, when it comes to that, it's like I'm on the side of him always. I love him. I still see him all the time, like the child and whatnot.
Yeah, kid did nothing wrong.
No, he's fucking. I've known him since he was born. I love him. I might hate his parents, but I love him. And just knowing that she would use that against that, like using her child as like a toy in the middle of everything is just like,
Well,
fuck you.
She
Like
kind of
you're-
used his child against him.
That's
if
what
you
I'm
think
saying.
about it.
Yeah.
She used his own child against
Yeah.
him.
Yeah, it's like
and her child, but it's like
Theirs.
she's using
But-
her child saying that he got fucking
for her
like,
for her own selfish reasons though. Like she's
it's
like,
fucking disgusting. And I
Yeah.
think there's also this weird middle ground where it's like you want to punish the people, but there's also people that make, that not like saying they're wrong, but well, just using the word allegations, because allegations is a weird word, but there's people that make rape allegations and then it ends up
not
like
being true. Or,
well, no, it ends up it's true, but in the court of law, they determine that it's not true, and then people could literally go to jail for outing their rapist, and then not it not being in their favor in a court of law.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
there's that weird middle ground where I'm thinking like, okay, she needs to go to fucking jail for this. Like,
Well, yeah,
she
that-
needs to
because-
like
because
she
that's
needs
the
to have
serious-
something happen to her
Yeah.
for this happening, because that's fucking repulsive. Like, you can't do that shit. But then there's
because
also
you're
that
lying
weird
about
ground
something
where you
that
can't
serious
say
too.
that. Yeah.
That's fucking awful. No one wants that like on them, whether it's true or not. I mean, obviously, especially. if
And
it's
just to
true,
say
but-
that for your own gain.
yeah,
Is
that's
fucking repulsive.
I-
Not
I-
even just to say that about someone else, but your own child.
yeah. I hate people using their kids in that way. It's fucking disgusting.
And maybe I'm getting back into the 6ix9ine documentary too, because I was watching it and he used his child for shit like that. Like when he was trying to get out of jail,
not surprised.
he's like, oh, I need to go see my daughter. I need to go see my daughter. And then you see the baby mama on the documentary, and she's like, yeah, the whole time he just used like he doesn't see his daughter. He doesn't fucking care about her. He just uses her as like, oh, I got to go see my daughter. So he
6ix9ine's not a good
uses her for
dad?
personal gain. I know, dude. Go fucking figure. Tekashi 6ix9ine, not a good
wow,
dad.
I pegged him as. I thought he was gonna be a good dad.
It's crazy, dude.
Man.
It's just fucked. Like, it's just all. We're in such a weird place in our life where I think like we're going good in a lot of like. There's a side of it. There's a side of almost everything that's happening right now, like all these movements and whatnot, that are really fucking great if they were.
But then,
if they went the way that you like think that it should,
Yeah.
it would. But there's just so many complications in life, like just basically just in the human psyche, that like everyone is just going to go so far out of whack that we can't keep control of anything.
Well,
like
you know
it
why?
goes into
It's-
everything we're talking about today: coronavirus, fucking this
It's too
molestation
many-
thing, the Me Too thing, like just everything, dude. The meme culture thing.
Too many people have access to technology that shouldn't.
yeah,
I
like,
can
You
they-
should
put-
have to
I
take
can
fucking
do-
tests
I
to
can
go
do
on the
something
internet, dude.
I can do something that's absolutely stupid and put it on the internet, and if people love it, then
yeah.
There it is.
everybody thinks that's cool. They're gonna do it.
Well, that's like what everybody
And-
thinks is like a job now. Like, and that doesn't contribute anything.
exactly.
Like,
And you know what? And I'm almost in this weird spot where I'm like, you say that, and I'm like, well, shit. Now I'm looking at the internet like a job, but like, who the fuck am I? And
No,
what, am I doing
but you
right,
have
the
a
right
day
thing?
job.
but
I do too, but it's like shit.
also
but I'm
like,
trying to make this my full-time thing.
also like a podcast is not. You're talking about podcasts, right? Like that's not the same thing as like people just doing things like stupid ass shit to get attention.
Well,
Trying
but
to act.
even just putting my voice out into the world, how do I know that what I'm saying isn't just stupid ass shit
But
that's
you're
like
not,
going out?
it doesn't matter. Like it's like you're not. Your aim isn't. You're not like trying to do something
not my
stupid
aim.
just to get noticed.
But
you know
I
what
do
mean? Like,
do the thing where I try to look at everything that I'm doing. Like, is it justified that I'm saying these things are shitty and like these things are wrong while I'm sitting here doing something similar? Like, I'm putting a different like
I don't think
I'm
you
putting
are,
a different title on it or a different like guise over it. But it's like, am I really that same person? It's that argument of like, what makes a troll and what makes someone like funny or like whatever. It's like, where is that?
Well, like
where is that line?
You have like the intent to entertain, whereas like some people, it's like they might have that, but it's also like
But I don't know if I have the intent to entertain. I don't, honestly. Like, I do.
Well,
And
you
there's a
want-
side
well,
of
I
me.
mean, you
there's
want-
a side of me that wants to
well,
entertain, and
want
there's a
people to
side of
enjoy your
me
show.
that just wants to be like a fucking person that's just like, hey, fuck you. I'm gonna say whatever the fuck I want. I don't care if you cancel me. I don't care if you do this or
that's
that.
just
I'm gonna-
expression. Then, like
Okay.
The difference is entertainment versus influence. That's the difference.
Like
You're trying to
But
get
some could
somebody
say that
to,
I am influencing people, and like, is
But
that good or
you're-
is that
you're
bad?
not trying to influence
you're
people, like-
Doing it as you're just hosting your opinions on
Yeah,
a
this
subject
is
or
like-
a
this is
topic
like-
versus
yeah.
you're
But then
going
I have
out
these
running
people-
around naked so that filming people's reaction,
Yeah.
laughing at you or looking at you. That's different. Oh, these people are laughing at him naked. I wonder if they'd laugh at me naked. Maybe I should go do that.
But what if I would do that?
That's
Because
the-
I show my
but-
butthole a lot. So
He
see,
does.
this is me. Like,
But-
I'm trying to self-reflect on everything. I'm trying to question the things that I do because I don't know. Like, I could sit here and think that everything that's going on in my mind is right or
But-
just or okay,
but-
but I really don't know. I don't know what the outside
Are
is
you-
looking at, and I don't know what is okay.
Is
or
the
isn't
goal
okay.
to be famous?
I don't know. Well, well, maybe.
I think
actually,
people.
no,
well, I don't
maybe.
know, but
Well,
people being obsessed with fame, I think, is a big problem.
well,
'cause
here's
it's
the
like,
thing. I could say no, but then when I think about it, it's like, yeah, you know what? I kind of am almost obsessed with it because, in a sense, I try so hard to do everything to just like get it out there, get it like seen, get it to do whatever, and like
Yeah, but that's-
get heard and like
but you're putting out a product.
But
though,
you're
like,
not
it's
attention to
different.
it,
You're
but,
not
like-
doing it to the point where you're making commercials and putting
But
yourself
I
on.
do advertisements. I
but
do
not-
commercials. I
they're not
literally
on-
make commercials.
But-
they're
but
not on
you-
TV.
but you're
they're
making
not
but I
on.
wouldn't. Okay, but here's I
You know,
would.
you're not
I would
getting
do
it to
that.
that level where
But I
you're
would do
trying to.
that.
You're not going to radio stations and saying like, "Here, play my shit," and here, put me out there. Here's 10
Just like,
grand.
take a listen if
fucking-
you guys want.
Okay,
yeah,
well here's
you
the
know, that kind of thing. That's I think the
No.
difference. You're not shooting for that level of fame. I think you're shooting more for just being
Hey, you want my
known
you want my
or-
business card?
You're not being a
Hey,
fame.
you want my fucking business card? Yeah. So like, where do I
business card?
stand there? I literally have business cards in my fucking wallet.
my point is,
so I am putting myself out there.
This is a
in that
product,
way.
though. This is a product you're making.
This is
like
Yeah,
the same
you're
thing.
not-
The same thing if you were to make a movie. It's the same thing. You're making something and saying, "Hey, come check this out."
What about the movies that are shitty and don't have meaning and don't matter?
It doesn't matter. That's not the
Are
same
you
thing.
paying producers and all kinds of other stuff for these movies to get out in theaters? And
You know what? If you want to look
That's
into that, I've technically sold out. I'm on a contract on a network.
Well,
Well, I
but
mean-
that's not that's what I'm saying though. You're making a product. You're not doing. You're not
yes.
just selling bullshit. As like, hey everybody, look at me.
You all right or
Like,
what?
I'm trying to burp, but I have a burp
Oh, okay.
stuck.
I thought you were gonna look like you're coughing a hair.
Yeah, that's what it looked like. A cough.
Dude, it's a hairball inside of me right now. I've been talking so much that I have so much air
Yeah.
just built in.
Drink some water.
Need some water for sure.
Clear it out.
Okay, Dad.
I'm just saying.
See, that's what
maybe
we
it
get for
works.
Look,
caring,
guys, stop
right?
worrying about me. Go on, keep talking. I'm listening. I'll
Yeah.
figure this out I'll figure it out on my own. That's what I do because
yeah.
I'm famous.
I think that just like people, because they're not like putting anything like you were talking about like things. You know, what I mean, we're having like a conversation about stuff, whereas like other people are just like, yo, I got more shit than you got. Fuck you, and that's like their content they put out. Like that's basically what it is, and it's that shit's so.
A lot of people look at me as a hipster, fucking asshole movie dude who just I just look at shit and I go, hey, fuck you, you're uglier than me, so suck my ass.
You do movie podcasts and you're an opinionated person. That's not this. Oh, and you're stepping on the cord.
Oh, sorry.
It's not like you're. It's just not the same.
It's not the same.
Yeah, at all. Like compared to like what.
But then I also reflect on things like, okay, there was one episode, so I think there might be a chain reaction, but there was one episode in my show Scream, my horror movie podcast. I said something about, me being a mansplainer, like, oh, who's this mansplaining fucking asshole, like doing this and doing that. And then now everyone's calling me a mansplainer. So I think it could be like a reaction of me saying it, like putting that word out there and it being in their heads. But also there are a lot of things where they're like, yeah, I tried to listen to Caleb, but he's kind of a mansplaining asshole. And then
But
it's like,
that's the thing. People want to jump on the narrative.
but then you
of
see
it,
enough, and
know?
then it's like, you know what? I start to try to self-reflect a little bit, and I'm like, am I that person? Like, am I that? Because you know what? You look up, like, obviously, I do hate a lot of those terms, like, in the general sense.
I hate
but then
that
when
people.
but then when I think about it, it's like, it does go beyond the term, because, there could be, like, oh, this term mansplaining, like, oh, whatever, it's shitty and whatnot. But at the same time, it's like, okay, you look into the root of it, it's like someone who's loud, they're a man, they talk over people to, like, get their point across or whatnot. And I'm like, you know what? Like, even if I don't use the word mansplain, I do that. Like,
yeah,
to be fair, I think a lot of people
cutter offer.
I think I as I cut you off, I think I am like also on a show where so far it's just been like, like 12, 13 episodes or something with just me with a woman, and we'd had a guest and it's still a woman. And then, I
never
think
let them speak at all.
I never let them speak at all. But the thing is, I mean, I will defend myself a little bit. I don't let anyone speak.
No. You do
Whether-
it across the board. It's not a sexist
It's
thing
not
at
a
all.
selective thing. Like, you talk all the time. I am the king of cutting you off and cutting everyone off and just telling my own story or telling my own take or whatever. Just like, oh, wait. I got to get this in before you finish your statement just so you can let the rest of the conversation go off of
MO
that.
for sure.
That's me.
Yeah.
So it's like, I am kind of on that side where I'm like, okay, well,
It's
they
not
haven't,
mansplaining
they
in
haven't
the
heard
classic
me.
sense then, though.
Yeah, so they haven't heard me with anyone else. So maybe, like, I am looking into it a little too much. But at the same time, I'm also like, I don't know, dude. Like, am I that person?
No, well,
And this isn't me asking you as,
No,
like,
no,
me
no.
sitting here with, like, two men and being like, am I that person? I need that justification
well,
from two other men.
I would say like the
I
mansplaining doesn't fit because you're not just that pertains to doing it to women. like talking over women, not over explaining things to women, kind of shit like that, right? You do that to everybody.
I think I'm just an uppity, loud person.
So you're just a splainer.
Okay, so I just have the second
I think
side
you
of it.
want to make sure that you're understood by people.
Yeah,
but
and
too
that
much.
is no. I mean, because
Maybe
you
too
don't
much.
want
You
to have
got
to
a lot
have
to
someone.
say.
Huh? What?
Yeah.
What do you mean? How do you?
Oh, that
you
too,
know,
yeah.
I'm the same way. I can relate to that.
But this whole time, you've been sitting here not interrupting me, and I've been interrupting you this whole time.
Yeah, but that's like we said before. That's your MO. That's
Well,
what
now
you
am
do.
I racist? Now I'm interrupting a black man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a little
You're,
racist.
you're race splaining now.
I'm sure somebody probably will look at it that way.
Yeah.
Shit, dude. See, like, I don't know where to go
I
from
know,
here.
but
Well,
I don't say.
quit
I
being
don't.
so goddamn racist, Caleb.
Fuck, dude.
Let me go start there.
Is that where I need to start before I get to the women thing? Do I need to get to the race thing? Because also
Yeah.
I make a lot. I do Asian voices all the time.
See, I've never seen a problem with doing voices. Nothing wrong with doing voices.
That's just voices.
Yeah,
But I
Because
also,
there's
but I
people
also
who
there's
do
also
sound like
racial
that.
connotations to it sometimes.
Yeah,
Not
but,
really, because
where I like talk about rice.
yeah, but you're not saying anything hateful. It's,
or like
it's not. It's
neuters.
not like you're like it's
but I think everybody.
I do
does
love
that.
lighthearted.
Asian people.
Yeah,
Everyone-
exactly.
I think if you were to be talking about, if you were saying a story about somebody that irritated you and they were Asian or they were black or whatever, you're just telling a story of something they did. As you're saying, well, they said this, you would probably try to say it in their voice.
yeah.
And it's not because you're being racist and they're a different race than you. It's just you're enunciating so that the person listening feels like they're with you during this happening as you're explaining it. You know.
Yeah.
What if I talk over them?
You
Well,
just, but you just
We already
do that.
established that's just what you do.
That's
Okay,
just
okay,
what you
okay.
do.
Okay,
But
okay. All right.
no, yeah, because like the whole like the cartoon voices were like they're like white dudes doing like Apu,
Well, okay. Well, how about this? Beginning of South Park, Comedy Central told Trey Parker and Matt Stone they couldn't do the black voices of like Chef or his parents or anything, so they got Isaac Hayes.
yeah.
And then years later, they're like, okay, we're just gonna do it. After like they're like,
Yeah.
well, actually, no, not even
They
years
didn't-
later, because it was first season that they introduced Chef's parents with the. Oh, Loch Ness Monster. Oh,
Loch Ness Monster.
three,
told me to give him a 350.
350.
Yeah.
Told me 350. And I told him, get out of here, Loch Ness Monster.
I give that Loch Ness Monster 350.
I just gave Loch Ness Monster 350. And I said, damn, woman, why'd you give that Loch Ness Monster 350? He's going to come.
Goddamn woman.
So it's like they had to build up to that too, and like
Yeah.
at first when they first mentioned
Well,
it, it's like no, you're
'cause
white, you're white dudes, you're white as fuck. This dude's Jewish
Yeah.
with curly ass hair. You can't do this.
Yeah, well, but that's because I think there's.
So is
They're-
that
they're
like
not saying-
misunderstanding or who's right or wrong? Because then it's also that.
misunderstanding,
But then me
like-
looking at it at a third party, I'm like, okay, I'm on Trey Parker and Matt Stone's
what
side, but then
exact-
also am I racist for being on the white people's side?
But what is racist about it though? Like, because
You know what? Here's the thing. I don't know, and it comes down to that term where
That's what I'm
not.
saying,
I'm
it's
not.
like-
But here's the thing. I'm not a black person. I can't say like
well,
I
it's,
don't.
okay, like if like a black person does like an impression of a white dude, it's not like offensive. They're just doing a voice.
But
You
then
know
there's
what I
that
mean?
also there's that line of
Like nobody,
black people didn't own white people.
No, I know that, but that's besides like the point
That
when it comes
has
to
nothing
doing
to do
voices.
with anything current day.
Yeah, it's because it's just like if I'm telling a story and like I can do a voice of what this guy sounded like, I'm gonna do it. It's not being racist. It's just like if someone were doing impression of my voice, that doesn't. There's nothing. It's the same rule across the board because race has really nothing to do with it. It's just.
I mean, I'm
You know what I
pretty
mean?
sure that we all laughed about some older black guy that I imitated,
Yeah.
that you imitated, that he imitated, and no one thought for 1 minute like, damn, like
Yeah,
that's
there's nothing.
pretty, that was pretty racist. Like,
But
I
to
feel
be fair,
offended by that.
well, first off, you do it better than me. Second off,
I didn't even know the guy.
You don't, but you still did it better than me.
Well, that's racist because you're assuming
That's
the black
racist
guy
'cause
can do
you're-
the black
yeah,
voice
that's-
better.
that's
Oh,
insane.
see,
That's actually pretty racist. But there's also that second side of what if another black person looked at a recording of us doing that? What if they weren't okay with it? Then where's that?
Well,
Like,
that's just
which,
can-
which,
they-
which
every-
black person is
everybody's
better?
a-
You or the other one?
everybody-
I
Everybody's
would
allowed
tell
to
them
be-
to. I would tell them to suck it from the back. That's
Yeah.
what I'd tell them, because you know what? As far as I'm concerned, it's freedom of speech, right?
Yeah.
It's not hate speech.
It's not.
You're not. I'm not.
What about hate crimes?
Well, that's not even a hate. It's not even a hate crime to
What about hate
imitate
crimes?
somebody.
Remember that South Park episode where there's Cartman throws a rock at Token, and then the FBI comes in and they're like, "Hate crime. You cannot. If you commit a physical act of violence on someone, you better make sure they are not black or Mexican or anything else. You better make sure they are different.
That's
they are the
throwing
same
race
color
into
as you."
situations.
No, that's making fun of today's. That's making fun of today's times. I think because
Yeah.
that's really kind of what it is. Everybody's afraid of offending everybody.
Yeah.
What's
It's like
funny though is
walking
that
on
that was an
eggshells.
episode from probably like 15 years ago.
But it was
super early.
But it's
episode.
like that
This has
then
been the
too because that's
conversation, like,
TV.
yeah.
You couldn't do that on
Well,
TV 15
Are you
years
saying
ago.
that I
you
can't
know?
pull Disneyland out of my ass?
Pull
mean,
Disneyland out of your ass.
That's how the episode ended. Cartman pulled Disneyland out of his ass. I could talk
I
about
don't
South
remember
Park
that.
all day, dude.
Wow. That must have been an old episode. I don't remember that at all.
Probably season 4 or 5. Honestly, it was pretty early.
Oh wow, yeah, that's 20 years ago, dude.
Yeah,
Shit.
Yeah, I
just
haven't
about.
seen that in a long
South Park
time.
came out in '97.
Yeah. God damn.
Yeah, man.
I haven't watched South Park in a lot of years.
I've missed like the last few seasons. I haven't really watched them that much, but did with a lot of shows. There's a lot of shows I used to watch like religiously, and now I kind of
I
just
think the last one I saw was those little Canadian.
Terrence and Phillip.
Terrence and Phillip.
Yeah, when those were new, I think was the last thing
Oh,
I
that's-
remember
yeah,
The
seeing.
first episode they did of that was
Aren't they Canadian or something?
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
they're
those
Canadian.
are the last.
That's
the
like
last,
them making fun of Canadians because the way they.
The funniest
talk.
part
That's
is
the
the-
last one I remember seeing.
Yeah.
the funniest part is their cars with the square wheels.
Oh, I didn't see that. I don't remember seeing that.
The first episode of Terrence and Phillip was an entire Terrence and Phillip episode because they were doing Cartman's dad. They were doing like figuring out who Cartman's dad is, but they
that's
were
right.
but they were
I
just
remember
doing a
that.
joke off of it. They were just like, "Oh yeah,
Does it-
Cartman's dad. No one's gonna fucking care." And then they were like, "Yeah," and everyone was pissed because they wanted to know who Cartman's dad
Didn't
was.
it turn out to be his mom?
It was his
dad?
mom, yeah. His mom
mom's
was
a
his dad.
hermaphrodite or whatever?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But the next episode they did after that was an April Fool's one. It was just all Terrence and Phillip. They were like, it'd be funny because people are gonna think that we're gonna do like actual South Park, but it's just gonna be
Yeah.
Terrence and Phillip till the end. And then that's what. And so they did that episode, and people were fucking pissed because they were like, "Who the fuck is Cartman's dad?" And that was the season finale, and they didn't release it until the next
The
fucking
next
season.
season. Yeah, shit.
Yeah, that was the last thing I remember watching of them. Like new.
That's
at
like
least.
first season, I think.
Yeah, that's-
dude.
that's
First
a
or
while
second
ago.
season.
It's been a
That's
while.
first season, I'm pretty
I
sure.
think
Maybe
it was
second.
that or the.
They've gotten better as they went along too.
Dude, they're amazing.
Yeah, it's been. I might have watched some other
like
ones
season
after, but
7 and 8,
Um,
best seasons ever.
I know I didn't get to see a whole lot of them.
That's my favorite
Shit's
show, man.
good.
My favorite show in the fucking world.
it's a fine wine, man. Like it's just getting better and better. It's the way they film. You know how they film it. Like,
I have to watch it
well,
again.
they write it. They do all the writing and all the editing, and all that stuff in 2 days. Like 2 days before it comes out.
That's not completely true. So it's 7 days to air.
7 days to air,
Pretty
that's right.
much like they release on Wednesdays, and on Thursdays is pretty much their day when they start the week. They start like trying to figure out concepts and ideas and whatnot. And they kind of like
That's what keeps it
sometimes
so
they don't
current.
sometimes they don't write it until like the day before, and they'll
Yeah.
animate it like last fucking minute because
Yeah,
they
yeah.
kind of play the game that. Honestly, kind of that we're doing with this show right now because we record on Sundays and I've been
Not
uploading everything
over-preparing.
on Monday. It's kind of we
Yeah.
just do it and then go and like whatever. But I mean, they're obviously a step farther because they have to animate, they have to do all this, they have to think of a storyline. So
Yeah.
it's like it's a long thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, yeah, I'm sure it's pretty difficult.
All
You
right,
have
well,
to come up with material that often, that fast.
well, Jason is yawning, so let's go ahead and move into Donkey Vice.
No, don't worry about me. That's
Oh, you
just
get-
that's just my.
Because I gotta be in bed in about an hour anyway.
Yeah,
so
Sean has to go to bed soon anyway.
I gotta get
So
up at 5.
Sean, you want to introduce our segment?
Is it the
You know
Donkey
what it is,
Vice, right?
Don't do that. You got to just introduce it. You can't
Okay,
you can't ask me what the segment is on our
Well, I
show.
don't know. You running the shit. I'm trying to.
Sean, we have
You're
things,
mansplaining again.
Sean, we have things that we talk about,
Okay.
but we have one segment.
Now it's time for Donkey Vice with Sean and Caleb, and also Jason.
All right.
Donkey Vice. Here we go.
A little more.
Donkey Vice is a section where we talk about people give us questions that we give advice upon.
I say Donkey Vice on its own a couple times.
Donkey Vice. Donkey Vice.
A little slower.
Donkey Vice.
And then
Donkey Vice.
okay. So we are going to do the advice first. Obviously, we have. I think you should make a voice for Donnie's segment too,
Okay.
because that's just a thing now. We've gone full fledged. But we have. Look at this one. We have a giant one.
Jesus.
Yeah, dude. I'm telling you, people. This show's actually been working pretty well.
That's a whole fucking Word document.
People are sending good shit. So this is. I'm just gonna start it out so I don't actually accidentally fuck up and say things I shouldn't. Hi, Sean and Caleb. I'm G, a 5'1", 17-year-old female. Finally, someone actually goes by the rules we sent.
Okay.
So, guys, if
They
you do
give
want to
us-
send advice in, that's donkeyfellatio@yahoo.com. Just tell us what you want us to introduce you as. This is perfect right here. Like, do like I'm G or I'm your full name or whatever. Tell us. She did how tall she was too, so that's cool.
Yeah.
Do how tall you are,
Gives all the
whatever.
stats.
Your age, your race, whatever. That oh wait, no, not race. Gender. That's the thing.
Okay.
I'm being racist again.
You goddamn racist.
So I'm G, a 5'1", 17-year-old female. Shit with my family has hit the fan, I guess. My mom has already given me anxiety, and according to my friends that have the disorders, and according to friends that have the disorders and have been to therapy for these things, I probably have a panic disorder and depression, and will constantly guilt trip me since I'm close to being able to move out. Sorry, there's some punctuation issues, G. I know you're 17, but
Shit on your punctuation.
okay. I'm close to being able to move out, saying things like, who's going to take care of your siblings when you leave, and who's going to keep the house clean. Now with the most recent argument with my stepdad, she took my phone and texted him while still using my account on Messenger. That's an issue. Talking shit to him and making him come inside of the house, so pretty much he's outside or something, making him come inside of the house, asking me how I could say things like that to him. Meanwhile, my mom would sit next to me, slightly smiling. While I told him my mom took my phone and she did all that, like, said things to him, he shook his head and walked outside. What my caring mother said to me after that, thanks a lot. And then she left slamming the door to the room like it was her fault. Like pretty much like, thanks a lot for...
What did he... So the mom took her phone?
The mom took her
and
phone,
texted
the stepdad. He came inside, and then when she said, hey, that wasn't me, my stepmom did that, or my mom did that, he kind of shook his head and just left like, hey, fuck you, stop lying to me.
Well,
and then what her mom did after was walk over, slam her door, and then say, thanks a lot. So pretty much she was like, thanks a lot for... saying that I did that.
Oh, okay.
My question for advice is, what would you recommend I do to relieve some of my stress, anger, and sadness without A, angering my parents because I voiced my opinion, and when I do that, I get my electronics taken away, and I don't want that because we just moved states, so I don't have any friends that aren't online, and I'm not in school because my parents are lazy as fuck and are putting it off, so I'm stuck with them until my 8 months are up, until my 18th birthday, and I can leave the house. And B, hurting myself because I've promised a few friends that I wouldn't cut or starve myself to try and mask the negative feelings I feel. I tried bringing up therapy to my mother, but she shot me an ugly look and said, we're not paying for something you don't need. You don't have mental problems, so grow up. Therapy is out of the question right now.
Okay.
That is a heavy one.
Well, you're 17. That's not the greatest time, especially when
It's really not when you're in a bad situation.
Yeah, you're gonna be butting heads with your parents a lot more. I mean, do you have anything that you like to do? Like,
well, really, let me take this for a second. Let me mansplain for a second.
Go mansplain.
Here's the thing. This story is actually like, this is a very odd story, something that most people probably wouldn't hear or think that sounds real. But me, I actually lived with basically the same exact situation. I was just the opposite. I had an actual, like, my blood father and then my stepmother, but my stepmother would do the exact same thing that yours did. So it sounds like she has some kind of personality disorder, some kind of denial, some kind of, like, fucked up shit going on in her head, some anger issues. But it also sounds like she is, I'm not thinking of the word right now, but she's pretty much so egotistical that she believes that nothing actually happened. Like, what really gets to me is the part where she said, what did she say to me after that? Like, she said, thanks a lot, and then slammed my door, basically implying that the daughter, G did something wrong, aside from her doing something wrong, when she was the one who started the whole predicament in the first place by texting her father something, acting like she was
She
doing
sounds
that
like
herself.
your mom's trying to stir some shit up.
She's either trying to stir some shit up, but also I think it's a deep-rooted mental disorder where it sounds like she's not recognizing that she did something wrong. Pretty much, I grew up with someone who, one of my most notable stories is, my mother or my stepmother came into my room after my father left for work. And she pretty much threatened me with a bunch of shit, told me a bunch of fucked up shit, and then was like, hey, if you ever tell your father or anyone else about this, I'm going to make your life a living hell every minute he's not here. And then when I go and tell someone, it immediately goes to, oh, what the fuck? No, that never happened. The tears start coming out. The anger starts coming out. She starts throwing shit, getting mad, like getting pissed off. And she's like, no, fuck you. Your son's a piece of shit. He's fucking lying to you, you know. And then she starts naming off things that I've done in my life. Like, oh, he's done this before. He's done that before. He's lied about, like, you know, eating some fucking crackers or something like that when, you know, he said he didn't eat crackers when he did or some stupid shit like that. Actually, I think when I moved out was when, she texted the group, like the family group chat in the middle of the night and said that it was pretty much like, who fucking ate this food or whatnot? What the fuck, you piece of shit? Like, you're such an asshole, whoever did this. Pretty much implying that it was me. And then after like 30 minutes of that going on, me saying like, dude, that wasn't me. My sister or my stepsister texts back and it says, oh, I'm sorry, that was me. And then immediately when it goes to that, the anger's gone and it's just like, oh, I'm sorry, sweetie, you know, like, oh, misunderstanding, blah, blah, blah. And then I came back and I'm like, dude, what the fuck is wrong with you people? Like, you all saw this. You're all in that group chat. Everyone in this family saw that. You don't see an issue with this. If you don't see an issue with this, there's a problem with you fucking people, not me.
Yeah.
And that's when I moved out. So pretty much I lived with that my whole life. Pretty much just her... Well, gaslighting the fuck out of me. Pretty much just gaslighting me
like,
my entire life. Pretty much making me feel like I was crazy, even though I knew exactly what happened. And I knew she was abusing me, but every time it would come out. Yeah, my stepmom.
That's like with a lot of step parents. It's like they get.
She's on the side of her children, not me.
Yeah.
She likes to say that there was never any, like, favoritism or anything like that, or, you know, she didn't care about them more than me.
How
there
could
was
it not be? Like,
how could you not?
I guess
There's
I feel like
100%
everybody's going to
favoritism.
be like more, you know, favorable towards their own kids.
Well,
know?
I've told you before. She literally told me, "Don't call me mom,"
Yeah.
and then I would call her
that-
mom on accident. She would get fucking pissed at me
that
and like
gives you
scold
your
me or like
answer.
give me looks.
Yeah.
And you know, it goes back to even like back in the day, like my father. Like I think he's a piece of shit too. I don't think. I know he's a piece of shit. But there were times where I thought he was on my side at the time, so I would try to come out to him and tell him things and whatnot. And then, you know, there were times where he would ask me like, oh, well, what's going on? Like, why is this weird or blah, blah, blah. And I'd be like, dude, well, here's the thing. When I'm like in the car with her, she'll be talking shit on things that I don't agree with or like saying things that I don't agree with, but she'll give me this look. Like we'd be in the drive-thru or something and she'd turn to me and she'd give me this look that's like pretty much, if you don't agree with me, this conversation's going to go a different way
south.
right now. It's going to go really south, really fast, and everything's going to be terrible for the next few weeks or what fucking ever.
Yeah.
And she'd go in between these cycles of being really fucking nice to me, you know, acting all sweet and like, oh, I love you, this, that, and that, blah, 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 we're so close, talking to me or whatever. It would mainly just be when she was drunk, though. She would get drunk, and then she would be really nice to me, and she would act like we were best friends, and then it would fall apart in like a few days or a week, whatever. I would start trusting her and, you know, think that maybe we're kind of breaking ground or, you know, breaking through, getting somewhere, and it never goes anywhere.
Do you feel like she like kind of blamed you for maybe problems like had with your dad or something like that? Or
I think she blamed me for problems she had in her own life. She blamed me for problems that she had with my father. She blamed me for
you're just the punching bag for it.
basically. It was just like, if anything went awry, it was because of me. And it was either because of like some time that I lied when I was 5 years old or something, or like, you know, some action that I
So
did when I
she's
was
trying
like,
to cancel you from shit you did in your adolescence.
yeah, basically.
Okay.
Basically, like bring up past things that don't fucking matter and all shit like that. So pretty much what I'm trying to get to is I'm recognizing that another thing she did is that, you know, she would always say she's going to go to therapy for anger management or for like, you know, this or that or this problem or whatever. And she never would. It would just be like, okay, she's going to this, so now everything's going to get better. And then, you know, time would move on. Everyone would forget about it.
Yeah.
She wouldn't go. It would never fucking happen. Nothing would ever get better. It'd just be like the big blow up, you know, a big fight. Like there was even a time where she moved out. She moved out for like almost a year, never got therapy, never got anything. And then all of a sudden one day, like everything was fine for a good while. Like literally no issues in the house, really. Like there were some, but nothing like what was going on. And then all of a sudden one day just came back. No therapy, no anything,
Okay.
no problem solved. And everything just went right back to shit immediately.
So she's got her issues.
So she has her issues. And what I'm saying is basically, I think that, your
mom-
mother has some really fucked up issues. And I know that it seems like you're kind
sucks
of
right
ready
now.
to cut her off, and
Yeah.
I don't blame you if you want to. I'm
Well-
on that side of you can cut people off if they're shitty to you. It doesn't matter who they are.
That and a lot of times like she's about to turn 18, getting ready to move out. moving out can a lot of times improve your relationship with your parents.
But here's the part
they're
too,
still
dude.
looking at you as a kid, so that they're not treating you like with the rights of an adult at all. They're not treating you how they would if you were just, like at their level in their eyes. You know what I mean? Like, it's so it's just it sucks right now. There's you got to occupy yourself with things that you like. Like even when the shit sucks, the people around you suck. You gotta do your best to make your world as good as you can. Put your focus into something that you enjoy. Don't just focus on all the bullshit around you, because that's a losing battle.
I do agree with all of that, but me being the person I am, I do want to be a realist about this. I was in that situation. It was shitty. I distracted myself. It was fine. But it sounds like you're probably in that situation with your parents where you're going to go home, you'll distract yourself or whatever, and you're going to go home to a shitty fucking house where they guilt you for being out, they guilt you for doing things, they guilt you for being with your friends, they guilt you for doing anything that really makes you who you are.
Yeah.
And I think I can't tell you it's going to get better. I think, honestly, it's going to get worse. And I think also it's a really weird spot. And I don't want to talk to you like you're a kid, G. But when I was 17, my plans were literally like, this is the worst situation of my life. I need to get out immediately. But it's fucking hard. And it scares me hearing that you're moved out of state and you're far away from your friends. Like, I do hope you have like a friend back home or something like that you actually can like move with, or maybe you have like some means to get a job that pays well enough, or like hopefully you're not living in an area like California, because that was my biggest issue.
Moving out's like kind of a non-option by yourself.
Yeah, I can move out, but it's like I'd move out completely out of state, like no job, figure everything out completely on my own or like something. And it's like when you're in California, you can't really just do that very easily. So it sounds like something where like, when you're 17, you're like, yeah, I'm going to get out, I'm going to fucking leave, I'm going to do this. But then when you're actually 18, it kind of hits you and it's like, fuck, you start to... I even did the thing where I was in high school, I literally added everything up, all expenses, everything. I was like, okay, if I do this and do that and do that, I can do this. And it gets to that point where it's just like, you don't prepare for... You even prepare for like a couple $100 on the side for like issues or whatever, but then you realize life is actually a few $1,000s on the side for issues and all this other shit.
You got to prepare for things not to work out, because things don't always go to plan.
That's the thing. You have to prepare for everything to fall down and still figure out how you're going to guide yourself through that. And that's the hardest fucking part.
But try to stay away from like just focusing on all the negative shit in your life, because then you're just going to get in this cycle of only thinking about all the bad things, and you're not going to be able to appreciate good things.
I agree with that.
So it's definitely it's a state of mind. The reality is you're kind of stuck where you are at the moment, but you're going to turn 18 soon. You're going to have more options going forward, and you just got to focus on that.
And really just focus on like really getting out, because I think I focused, but I didn't focus hard enough. And I think if there are things that I look back on in hindsight where I'm like, if I did this differently or this differently or this differently, this step of the way, things would have been different and I could have avoided a lot of fucked up shit. Yeah. But I didn't. And it was also like, this isn't me telling you cut off all ties to your parents or whatnot, but it's also kind of me telling you that if you're in that situation and it is that bad, don't feel bad about cutting off all ties to your parents, because I'm in that situation where I went years and years without cutting off all ties to my parents, even after I realized, like, hey, this is kind of fucked up. Like, you were abusing me and whatnot, and this was going on, that was going on. But I still was like, you're my father. It's not that bad. Like, I cut off my stepmother at that point, but I didn't cut off my father. And I was still in that point where I was like, okay, like, I'm still going to be on his side because he tried to do this or that. And I looked at, like, the good things that happened, and I was like, okay, I need to remember that. But really, I should have focused... Like, it's kind of going against what you said, but I should have focused on the negative in that sense, because those negatives outweighed the positives. Not saying focus on the negatives in life,
because like you're like more like denying like the negative, because you're trying to give like
I'm denying the trauma, which is what I'm saying. Yeah. Don't deny the trauma, because I did that for years. It's like you're giving the
benefit of the doubt to your parents.
That's what I did. So. I gave them the benefit of the doubt, and my situation is obviously a lot more over-exaggerated than other people's situations, but in my situation, I ignored the trauma and I ignored these red flags, and I didn't cut this off so much to the point that he ended up murdering my best friend. So I got to the point where I should have 100% cut him off way before, and it ruined my life not cutting him off. I will say that without a doubt. Like, to this day, it ruined every aspect of my life. Like, I will never be the same person I am in life, in like family relationships, in friendships, in sexual shit and fucking relationships, like with any, like whether it's, like I said, like a friend, fucking parent, actual relationship, like anything that I get involved with, and it's even a little deeper because I was in a relationship that also was involved with that.
Yeah.
So everything I do is just really closed off. I'm really shut off. It's hard for me to be okay with like feeling anything for people, and it's really because I didn't cut this person off way earlier than I did.
But you also got to realize that's like an extreme situation.
It is,
at the
but
same time.
like, I'm the reason I'm even saying this is because her specific situation is hitting so close to home that it almost scares me that it could be something similar to that. I'm not saying cut them off, but I'm saying really, like, this whole episode has been about self-reflecting, but not even just self-reflecting, but reflecting on society and the things around you and the things around, like, not just people in general, but the things around you in your mind, the people and situations you're surrounding yourself with. Really analyze it, and I don't know, like,
and reflect with like a purpose.
Because my reflection should have been that I reflected on, like I told you earlier in the first episode, him getting rid of my dogs and stuff all the time and threatening to kill them and threatening to do this and that, like. I'm not saying that, they're going to fucking kill your dog, but I'm saying, like, you could be in a situation where if they're threatening you to do this and that, and those are things that mean enough to you that you don't want to lose, whether it's something mentally or something physically or something like an actual another living thing that you care about. If it's something that's affecting you in that way, I think it should really be analyzed, and you should figure out whether you want a relationship with these people or not. My whole thing is...
Well, but she's like, her main question was like, what can she do?
And I do want to answer those.
Because like it's like I reflecting on it with a purpose, like, and not just like reliving all the shit and feeling dreadful about it all the time. It's about like learning from it, and you're not going to be the same person again, but you don't want to be the same person again. You want to grow. You want to become a better version of yourself, and be able to like move forward from like the things that have like traumatized you in your life, But I
am also talking about cutting off people that traumatize you, because there are people that traumatize you that it's hard to...
Bad for your life.
Even when we were talking about with Shia LaBeouf and TKA Twig, she wasn't recognizing that he was abusing her and like traumatized her and whatnot, and... Look where like things do get over exaggerated is what I'm saying. Like, I know my situation is insane and it won't happen to most people.
But it's also just like what you're taking away from it too. It's like try to look at it like not in a positive sense, but just like learn from the things that have hurt you in life, and but not try to close doors. More so just like. Getting a place where you're more knowledgeable about yourself, knowledgeable about.
So dude, this is the narcissist talking to the pacifist right now. That's what's going on right now, because
the new name of the show, the narcissist and the pacifist.
That's what we should have done, because we're sitting here and you're going like, yeah, don't close doors, and I'm sitting here going, close every fucking door.
Because you're very.
Wait, you know what? Hold on, we need to stop for a second, Jason. Yes. You've been sitting here quiet the whole time. What is your take on that? You've been listening to us babble this whole time. Before we answer these questions completely, what is your take?
On G here?
Yeah, on G, everything we're talking about. The parent situation, all this.
Well, I think that we should worry about getting the advice that she asked for first. So
we're getting to that. We get through the our side of it, what's going on in our minds and how we feel about it, and then we answer the questions.
Well, so what am I answering? Am I answering
what do you
her
think about,
or you?
No, everything that we're talking about right now. Answer us first, I guess.
I mean, I think that it's pretty unfortunate. I think that's some shitty stuff to have to deal with as an adolescent. I think I grew up in a single parent home, so I mean, I've dealt with some stupidity myself, but so I can relate to some of it, but I think that I think a big part of it is that people being afraid to defend themselves to their parents. Yeah. And I have become the king of that lately with my own parents, because when, as a kid, you're taught that whatever your parents say is law. Yeah. And when they say something or do
they're just people.
It is in that situation, but it's
when you do something or say something to a child is going to take that as This is golden. This is it.
Yeah.
And when you lie to them, or when you do something that doesn't reflect what you've taught them, you know, such as, you know, treat people how you want to be treated, you know, be kind to everyone, and share and be, you know, and then you go and do some stuff like this, and it's
Breaks
like,
all of it.
well, yeah, you know, well, wait a minute, like this is
Like,
so
why would
now
why is your word law, right?
Yeah.
well, that, and now it's like, well, now I don't know how to respond to this as a child, because I was taught I can't talk back. I can't voice my opinion, because if I just say something that I just think, it's automatically disrespectful. If
Yeah.
my parents don't agree with it, that's the first thing that any parent's going to go to, is it's disrespectful because
It's my
you're
word.
back talking me. I don't agree with what you're saying. And it could be real, but no parent wants to admit that they're wrong, that they fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, as a kid, you are afraid of the consequences of calling your parents out on their bullshit.
Yeah.
So I think
Because that power over you.
well, you know that, and it's like, well, they can throw you out. They could tear your shit up. They can stop you from
Has
communicating
been
with
done
people.
to me. I had only
Yeah.
a bed.
So
for
They
talking back to my
take away
parents.
things
They
that you
can-
like. You feel
that-
kind of start feeling like a
because you're
prisoner.
precisely. So
Yeah.
you know, you realize that, you know, in order to do that, it comes at sometimes a heavy consequence.
Yeah.
So, you know, when you're in a situation like that, you do feel stuck.
Yeah.
And I think for her, I think for G, my best advice in that situation is that what she's going to need until she can get away from them is a strong support group. You're going to need
Yeah.
friends that are going to be there for you and listen to you, because, you know, obviously nobody wants to hear whining and complaining all the time. But in this
No.
case, this is somebody who's really dealing with something. This isn't somebody pissing and moaning that they don't
No.
like the food they ate, they don't like the shirt they're wearing, they didn't like the lunch they had. This is somebody dealing with some real,
Yeah.
you know, issues. So I would say for her, she needs, in my opinion, a good support group, whether
Yeah.
that's friends, whether that's other family members, someplace
Some positive
that she
influence.
can
Can't get the therapy.
She can. Well, she just needs to be able to escape the bullshit that she's dealing with,
Yeah.
even for a little while. Get her sanity, get some thoughts together. Just you know, because you can't relax in a situation like that. You're always on edge. Anything you do is gonna set somebody off. The mom is already at the point where, you know, not only everything that you do sets me off, but I'm going to make up things that you do so I can set myself off. Like,
Yeah.
that's something that you need to get away from, because you will traumatize a child forever by doing shit like that, in my
Yeah.
opinion. You're going to mess
You're
your child up.
ruining the
Yeah.
relationship
by,
with them too.
You know, this child has grown from an infant to as they're growing up, not knowing what anything is. Here's you as their parent. This is good for you. This is bad. These are your friends. These are enemies. People who treat you this way, these people are bad. People who treat you like this, these people are good.
Yeah.
And then you go, wait a minute. This is my parents treating me in a way that I was told is bad. Like, wait a minute. Now you're not supposed to do that. And then
Yeah.
it's, oh, well, you don't like it. You can move the fuck out.
Yep.
So, you know, you need somebody she needs someone that's going to listen to her,
Yeah.
that's going to hear what she has to say, even if they have no opinion, even if they
Just
can't,
to be able to let it out.
even if they can't say, well, here's what I think you should do. Just the fact that someone hears her and understands, I think would be, because I'm not in any situation quite like that, but
Yeah.
I know what it's like when you need to be heard and listened to.
Yeah.
And in this case, she is silenced because of her age.
Yeah.
You're my kid. You shut the hell up. You're
It's a-
underage. You're
It's a
under
shitty
18.
time.
Get the hell out. I don't want to hear what you have
Yeah.
to say, because I'm your parent, and if you don't like what I say, I can send you to your room. I
Yeah.
can take your phone. I can cut off your internet. You know, and so she is obviously gotten to the you know, your parents are people you're led to believe that if anything went wrong, I can
They
come
take care of
to
it.
my parents. Because as a kid, you scrape your knee, you come crying to your mom.
Yeah.
Somebody bullies you, you know, you first thing you do is cry, you come to your parents.
Yeah.
And at this point, she realizes, like, the one group of people or one person, if she has one parent, whoever, that I am able to come to, I now can't.
Yeah.
So I'm sure she feels pretty alone.
Yeah.
And
Well,
you
it's-
need a support group. She
it's-
needs to be around someone where when they act like that, she can go.
Yeah.
Be away from that shit. Let stuff calm down.
She has an
let
outlet of some
she
sort.
needs. That's what I would say is the biggest thing, because if you don't have that, you're going to. And if she, and especially, you know, if she really has these conditions that she spoke of anxiety or anything, you're going to skyrocket that.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not like you can go to your doctor and say, well, hey, you know, I'm on this anxiety medication, but because my parents are acting like this, can you give me 3 times the amount so I can deal with these assholes? Well, no, you're abusing shit. Now you get nothing. So you got to be real careful with when you're in a situation like that, even who you tell, because she's talking about doing this. Oh, let me tell you.
She wants to feel safe.
You know, I gotta notify the police.
Yeah,
I gotta notify CPS.
Yeah.
I told someone I wanted to kill myself in middle school, and I literally was at middle school.
And
they called they called the hospital. They literally strapped me to a gurney in the front of the school with people looking at me, and then took me off to a mental
that's
hospital.
not going to make it worse.
But you're talking a middle school child that's upset to the point that they're thinking this is the only way I can get away from this frustration.
Yeah.
And you react by. I mean, I know
kind
you
of
should
humiliating them almost.
Well,
like,
no. I mean, you should take any
should,
suicide
but
thoughts seriously.
Definitely.
But you're talking a little 13-year-old kid or 12-year-old kid. You're handcuffing them to gurneys and probably in front of your friends, I assume.
Oh yeah, in front of the whole school. It was right in the front of the school.
And now when this child comes back, everybody's that's it.
Yeah, because now it's going to help torment the kid.
Adults,
you know? Like,
I don't think of that.
No.
You know,
No, they
and
don't.
as a single parent household, I ran into a lot of that myself, and I paid a lot of attention to it. And I completely get it in her case, because, you know, she's talking about, you know, the people she feels that she could count on the most, which is family.
Yeah.
You know, they say blood's thicker than water. You should always stick to your, family should stick together, yada, yada. And obviously they don't.
Yeah.
You got one person that could tell somebody that they're married to, your daughter, who you have raised since before you knew who I was, as your now new wife. You know, you're going to believe me over your own daughter. That tells me, A, the dad's a piece of shit and obviously doesn't fucking know any fucking better. Like, and the mom is obviously a manipulative piece of shit too. And no offense to you, G. Like, I don't know these people, but in the situation,
I think it's a stepdad and the mom, right?
Yeah,
well,
stepdad and the mom.
Okay, well, whoever that is, to do that to your children.
Yeah.
For what gain do you have? What gain as a parent do you have to put a rift between the child and the father, or the child and the stepfather, when this child's got to live under these people's roof?
Yeah.
This man, whoever this is, he's not even her dad, right?
Yeah.
Or he is her dad.
He's stepdad, I think.
So he's not even her father. This man goes out every day, earns money to feed this child, put clothes on her back, roof over her head.
Yeah.
And now the mom, because of her own whatever, just damaged that relationship.
Yeah, she
possibly permanently. We don't know. And for what reason? What gain do you? I mean, I don't have children, but I can't think of one reason that I would go to bed and smile like I just put a wedge between this child and their birth parent.
And that's what they fucking do.
Yeah,
just making your kid's life
so
difficult in any way.
And there's no reason for it. So when people do that, I cannot find.
No.
Even as an adult,
There's
know,
no
as a kid,
really.
As a kid, you don't understand that shit like she does. Yeah. As an adult, I still don't understand it. And there's no reason for it.
Some people people aren't always gonna treat you well. You know,
right? But the people that you should expect to treat you well, when they don't, in this case, it's your parents.
Yeah.
You know, you go on the street, you might expect somebody to cut you off, shoulder bump you. Tell you you go to school, somebody doesn't like your outfit, talk shit to you.
Yeah.
You don't expect your parents to come down to the same level of everybody else, because now who can you come to, you know? And then you go to your friends, and your friends either don't have time for you or they silence you. Like, so, you know, I think a big thing in a situation, anybody's situation, especially when you have parents you can't come to, is a strong support group, whether that's friends. She's in 17. I assume that, well, not with everything going on now, but in high school, normally you would have counselors, you know, obviously.
Yeah. People,
you know,
someone you could talk
to. You got to have, I think that's a big one, is you need some sort of a way to where you don't feel alone, because when you feel alone it's like, why am I even here? Why did these?
Yeah,
I'm
it's
not
like
needed for anything, and then
all those
worse and worse thoughts set
Yeah,
in, and then that's
exactly.
when you get to self-harming or people running away because they feel like, well, they're not going to notice me anyways.
Yeah.
You know, so before she sees already that, hey, there's a problem and I need help, and she's
Yeah.
came to you guys, and that's, I think, the first step. So,
But then when they ignore you,
but she's got to have at least some friends.
yeah.
No.
You know, I mean, if anything, I don't even know her. She can call and talk to me. I'll listen to her
No.
if that's what it takes. If she can't find anybody, she can find me on Instagram, Facebook, whatever. I'll listen to her because I know what it's like to want to be heard and you're not.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So
Yeah.
I think that's a big thing. She's got to have a support group, a strong support group, because that's a lot of shit.
Yeah.
You know, she's not just complaining about, oh, this person wearing the same outfit as me and I'm upset. This is an ongoing, you know, when I'm in the house, it's midnight and this woman is acting crazy. I have nowhere to go. I can't just call my friend and go for a drive, and
Yeah.
she doesn't have that.
It's just-
like an adult would. You
Yeah.
know, you get in a fight with your wife or girlfriend, you get in your car, drive the fuck away for a couple days, rent a hotel. She can't do that.
No.
Yeah.
You know, and so she's
She's
kinda
like right on the
feeling-
line of like not quite being able to be independent
and
yet.
but I'm sure she's probably ready.
That's
you know, but
absolutely,
then
yeah.
you go she turns 18. She goes to get a job. They're gonna we'll give you minimum wage.
Yeah.
So you can't even go.
That was
okay,
my fucking issue.
soon
Or
as
you
I'm-
don't get the hours,
you
or
can't-
like,
Yeah.
But you know, you don't get enough as an 18-year-old to support yourself on your own.
No, it's not
So
like-
even when she's 18, she's still gonna be stuck. She's
Yeah.
still gonna have the problem. So you know, until then, I mean, unless you have some place to go, if you were just forced to just deal with it and suck it up, like she's having to do, unfortunately, you need some sort of support.
yeah.
Because at least it's like, you know what? Well, damn, like I can't get out of the situation, but somebody listen to me. Somebody gives a
Yeah.
shit. Like I feel like maybe I can go back in there and deal with this one more day,
yeah.
you know, and then it gets bad again. Well, damn, like, hey, I know I just talked to you an hour ago, but
yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
so, you know, I think support is a big thing.
Definitely.
Oh yeah.
You need to be heard. You need to be felt and understood. And when your
Yeah.
parents shut all of that off, because communication is key. Everybody knows
Oh,
that.
yeah. In every relationship.
And they're getting rid of that exact thing.
Yeah.
Not only from her to them as parents, but then they want to cut her communication off to the entire world, taking the
Yeah.
phone, telling him shit, you
Basically,
know, and
like
And in
making
this
her a
world
prisoner.
today, taking your phone is taking away pretty much your
sure,
Yeah, because it's your if
your
it's
lifeline to
there
anyone.
goes,
Exactly,
there goes your
yeah.
face. I don't know if she has a computer, but for me, you take my phone, there goes my Facebook, there goes my
Everything, yeah.
Instagram, there goes my
It's your connection.
contacts. I don't
Yeah.
remember people's numbers. If I just happen to run, let me use your phone. Well, I don't know anybody's numbers. I just call.
Yeah.
And I know there's somebody that I know if I called them, like, dang, this person would be there for me at the drop of a hat.
Yeah, man.
But man, they took my phone. I don't know this person's number.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? So
It's your
you have
lifeline,
really
man.
That's how it would be for me, man. Like, I mean,
Exactly.
literally,
So-
you know, I mean, my best friend Bree, I mean, she's literally for every single bad thing that's happened in my life. When I have had no one, she has been there for me. And I will say that, like, even like when my dog got murdered, she was legitimately the only person that was there for me. There wasn't a single person around that gave a shit. There wasn't a single person around that felt what I felt. But when it happened, she literally, I called her, like, she was busy as shit. And I called her and she was like, hey, you know, I can't really do anything. I'm busy. But I told her, Haas just got murdered. She literally said, she just hung up the phone and said, I'm on my way. And she showed up. She was in there. She was at my house in like 10 minutes, which was literally the fastest she possibly could have been there.
She broke some
I was
some
sitting right
laws
there. She literally
getting
just
over there.
walked up to the fucking, like, up the garage. She just hugged me and she cried with me. She started crying before I even did. I was sitting there like I had no emotion. She started crying before I did. She was the only person that
But
felt
you
me
needed that,
was
didn't
there.
you?
And I will say, like,
But you
legitimately,
needed that.
Yeah.
All you needed was to be heard and felt and understood, huh?
And I
she
mean,
didn't
like-
bring the dog back. She didn't bring you another replacement. No, you didn't need that.
Just comfort.
You just needed to know that someone gave a flying fuck what you thought and felt, and it meant the world to you, right?
So, you know,
someone
even
showing
inside,
compassion
that's what
to you.
she
Dude,
needs.
and you know what? Speaking of the family shit, even inside, I had my fucking like girlfriend there, who, you know, I guess on paper should have been that person there for me. When she showed up, it was literally me and Bree in there. She just like looked at me, kind of just patted my shoulder, walked inside, left, and that was pretty
See?
much it.
And
Me
you
and
got
Bree sat
silenced.
there, and
That was the
and you know what,
silencing
like-
right there. That's
Yeah.
probably what she felt like.
yeah. And I can say right now, like literally, if Bree wasn't there for me in that moment, right then and there, I would have killed myself right then and there that night. I would have got in my car. I would have drove into a wall. That would have been it. That would have been the end of my life.
But I guarantee you, if Bree told you, hey, Caleb, I'm really upset because I tripped and fell in front of everybody or whatever, you would be there.
Oh, yeah. Anytime
You get that? That's what's important.
Well, if Bree
anytime
tripped and
that-
fell, he would probably laugh at her.
I would
Just-
laugh at her a lot. I would laugh at her, but if she was
But
really
it's-
upset,
but it's-
I'd still show
yeah.
up.
But
I'd laugh at her a little bit, but
Sorry, I didn't
I'd
mean
show
to
up.
cut you.
well, no, I'm just saying that she could call you for something minuscule.
Yeah.
As stupid as that.
Oh, yeah.
But the point is you're going to go, man, at my absolute lowest, this one person was there for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will be there for them no matter what.
That means
Yeah.
a lot. Yeah.
And then
100%,
and
man.
she's going to probably realize that, and that's why you have this bond, and you and Bree have a bond. Am I right?
Oh, yeah.
You get what I'm
Oh, yeah,
saying?
dude.
So she needs something like that at this point in her life. That's what I would say in a situation, especially when it comes to parents, because you're always going to feel like the one person or the two people, your mom and dad or whoever parents you live with, that these are the people, no matter what happens, I should be able to come to. I need to borrow $1 for the ice cream truck. I'd ask my mom. I need, can I borrow money for gas? I'm 16. I want to go drive over here. Oh, yeah, sure. Here's, you go do the dishes or you wash mop the floor or do something and earn it. But, you'll get what you need because this is your parents. And when that's not the case, it's like, I'm sure you feel alone and feel just, so sometimes what you got to look for is comfort outside of the home, outside of the family.
Yeah.
Friends are
You're not always going to
big.
find that comfort where you should be getting it from.
Right.
But your family isn't always the people you're just blood related to. It
Right.
could be, friends that you meet
But
that
you
become your
have-
family,
that. And also my other advice to her is I would say, listen to your heart as well as your mind. You're going to come to a point where, you're going to talk to somebody and if you feel even a tiny bit like, I don't know if I should trust this person, then you probably shouldn't.
And you know what? I think I think Jason just said what me and you were kind of like going back and forth about like for a while. I think Jason just said it better than I could have. Pretty much, I'm like, the whole cancel or like not cancel, cut them off or whatever,
Yeah.
shut that door. I think Jason's right. Listen to your heart and not your mind because I think that's the probably simpler and better way of saying it because really I think what I was getting down to is that in my situation I listened to my mind and not my heart.
Yeah.
And really my heart like the whole time was telling me cut them off, get away from them. You know what you need to do, but I ignored it.
Your mind tells you this is your parents. You should be able to trust them.
Your mind goes
Your
logical.
heart tells you, nah, this has been broke before by these people.
Yeah.
you need to find like a balance between the two.
So, your heart will
that's
always
great.
remember when it's been broken by somebody, always.
Yeah.
And if you are talking to somebody who has fucked you over before, even if you think for a minute like, maybe we're getting better, you're going to know it. You're going to remember in the back of your mind like,
Yeah.
I can't completely give my all to this
It's like
person
the whole
because
forgive but don't forget thing,
because especially in this case because they
maybe not
continue
always
to
forgive,
but they continue to show that they can't be trusted when you come to them for anything. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
she can't even come to her own parents. Who can she go to? That's the whole thing. And I think once she figures out who that is, then
and make things better.
sure, because she can, man, shit's going on. I need just somebody to vent to
Have an outlet
Yeah.
that you can let that stuff out on.
Sure. So, and when you don't have your parents as that, I think that's very difficult. It's very tough that, when you're in that situation because you tell an adult something like that, they're going to tell you, well, you're a kid, deal with it. You live under their roof.
Yeah.
And
like a
and
power
you don't
trip
want to
kinda
hear
thing.
that. As a kid, you don't want to hear that. That's not what
Well,
you're going for.
Especially like at the age she's at, it's just like you're
Sure.
yearning to be independent, and then like they're ripping away from you because of your age, and it sucks. It's a shitty time. It's nothing's gonna make it just better right off the bat, but things can make it easier.
Exactly
to get
it.
through.
It may not be, it's no different than, if you have a toothache and you put Novocaine on it, if at least you feel better for the moment.
Yeah.
you can you can now eat a meal and you can get full and you can, it's going to suck a little bit later, but you got to be able to deal with it at least in the here and now. At least, even if it doesn't get the pain completely away, it's tolerable.
Yeah.
I can deal with this much.
Yeah.
I feel this much pain, and now that I've talked to you, it's manageable. Like, okay, I can, maybe you don't give somebody like I said, you don't give them this is what you should do, or this is what I would do in this situation. Yeah. But at least it's like, okay, you know what, I'm glad I can manage. I got
off your chest.
some, exactly.
Yeah.
And
because that does help.
It sure.
It really does.
So
because
that's really good. Let's just answer these real quick, because I think we hit pretty much all topics there.
Hang in there, G.
So her main
things are gonna get better.
Well, her main questions were she wants to relieve her stress without angering her parents because she voiced her opinion. So on the note of voicing your opinion,
voice it to people who will listen.
Yeah,
like
probably
friends.
voice the people that listen, because I will say, like, I have been in a couple instances in my childhood where, like, I went through a lot of, like, trying to actually, like, it wasn't just saying, like, oh, fuck you, you're wrong. It was, like, trying to reason with my parents with actual, like, logic and whatnot, actually going, like, hey, this isn't
rage,
right because of this and this, and, this happened and blah, 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 like, putting it all together. And there were a lot of times where it was literally just, like, they just hear it, but it's, like, the whole thing in one ear and out the other, just like, no, fuck you, whatever, blah, blah, blah.
That's the difference between hearing
they're just
versus
hearing
listening.
you as a child.
Yeah.
They're not listening to you as, like, a person,
That's
really.
the difference between hearing and listening.
They're just hearing it.
I heard what you said, but...
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
So I have had a couple instances, like there was like one defining moment where I remember like I schooled the fuck out of my father. Like he literally like he said a bunch of shit. He was like, oh, fuck you, this, that, blah, blah. And I was like, no, dude, you're wrong because of this and this and this and all of this together. And he was like, I remember looking at his face and he had that moment where like he was like just fucking mad, just ready to say like fuck you to whatever I said. And then for some reason he heard it. And then I think it was just because I said it in such a way that like he couldn't just ignore it. And he like did like this angry thing where he goes, and then he kind of like looks up and thinks about it for a second. He's like, "Oh fuck," and he literally like it was like a look of defeat. It was like, "Oh shit," like you're right. And he couldn't do anything because there was nothing he could say in that moment that was like that would make me wrong. So it was literally like a schooling him moment. But I've only had that like one or two times in my entire life. So I will say, when you're in that situation where these people are so shitty, they're going to hear you. They're not going to listen, like Jason said.
Yeah.
They're going to hear you, they're not going to listen. So really, like we said a second ago, voice it to other people, find your people.
Find someone that you trust.
And even if you can't find anybody to talk to about it, like try to focus yourself into something that's good for you. Like getting your frustration out, like if working out or something like that. Or like just putting your focus into something that's not just negative, If you have a lot of negative around you, got to look for positive things to balance it out.
I think that goes into the second part, because her second question is, how do I do it without hurting myself? And
that's
honestly,
because she's looking for ways to get her frustration out.
And legitimately, as someone, okay, well, I'm gonna be completely honest. I've cut myself a lot in my life. I've actually, if I'm being completely honest, last night was the first time in probably at least 8 months where I legitimately was sitting there and I was like, I need to kill myself or cut myself right fucking now. Like it was getting really dark. I've been kind of off the rails for a couple months now, but I've been really going down and down under. And it's also like a self-destruction thing where actually some things are going kind of decent in my life right now. I guess I would say they're still not amazing. I still have a lot of fucking issues. I still have a lot of social life, brain issues and all this shit. But I guess on paper, in comparison to other things that have been going on in my life for the past year or a couple years or whatever, on paper they're kind of doing better. But my brain is not doing better. I would actually say it's doing worse than it has in at least the last year and a half or whatever. And literally just last night, the only reason I didn't start cutting myself is because I think somehow I ended up distracting myself with something, and eventually I just fell asleep. But I fell asleep early and I was kind of just depressed. But honestly, if I didn't get distracted, I can't say what I was distracted by, but I was distracted by something. And if I wasn't, I was already planning it. I'm that person that I guess, I'm kind of like the drug addict that has backups. It's I'm telling myself I'm not doing these things, but it's there. And if I want to go for it, it is. So I have knives literally sitting around that I cut myself with. And at any time, if I have that feeling, it's going to happen.
I'd rather you not have those knives, Caleb. But like what you said,
not getting rid of them.
You found something else that at least temporarily took your mind off of it.
And I will say, it wasn't on purpose. I didn't
No,
go
I know,
for
I
it,
know,
but I
but-
will
but-
say, like, if you try to go for it, it might help you more. Like, if you,
Yeah.
because I just happened to distract myself last night,
And
and it was
that's-
just a fluke that I didn't end up in that headspace.
But that's what I'm
well,
saying.
I was in
though.
the
It's
headspace,
like,
but farther.
like even if it was inadvertently, you were able to get yourself in a place where you can think about something else, put your focus on something else, and that is key to a lot of this, because like those feelings
So it
don't
is, even the feelings of depression, it'll
you
still
can't-
be
yeah.
there, but it's like,
You
if
can't-
you distract yourself enough, you can get through most things. For me, the reason I've been so off of like that, like, I mean, not off of depression. I'm not saying I was fucking cured for a while or anything.
like I've
but,
been on
like,
depression. Well, I
yeah.
didn't like it, so I got off.
I didn't
of
like it, so I got off of it. But like, for so long, like, I was doing so many podcasts, and like, so just not only was I doing so many podcasts, because I'm still doing a lot right now, but like, I was doing so many, and I was literally putting all my time into it, where like everything I thought about was like, no, I got to do this, I got to work on this, I got to do that, I got to do that. That like, it was pretty much like I didn't have time to be depressed.
But that's what I'm saying. Like you
it's the thing
like
where,
it's good. It's better that you did that with your time than hurting yourself.
Well, I've heard this story before too, of like people that work so fucking hard. They're like, you ask them like, why do you do all this? Why do you not give yourself time to breathe? Why do you not like do any of this? And a lot of the
them
people
going.
will answer, it's because if I don't do something with all this time, if I don't distract myself every minute of every day, I'm stuck in my own mind. I'm stuck with my own thoughts. I have to think about what my actual life is and what's going on in my head.
But and
It's that's distracting
that is,
yourself is the thing, dude.
That is the key, because it's like life is
it.
not always gonna be. You're gonna have good happy moments in your life. You're gonna have some shit moments in your life, and it's not about just focusing on like all the shit that's happening, but like you gotta do things with your time that can keep you moving forward. It's just stopping and soaking in all the shit that's happening. That's not gonna ever make you feel any better. So do things that keep yourself moving forward, that are things that are good for you.
Jason's staring down Bell right now.
I know
They've been beefing all night. Okay, so I think we've been on this question crazy long, but I think I mean I'm not mad about it at all.
No,
I think
not
that
me
was a
either.
really good question. I
Yeah.
think G, really, like, my heart goes out to you. I
Same.
feel for you probably more than most people. Like, your situation kind of, as I was reading, like, I was kind of stumbling around because I was like, oh shit, like, this
Struck a
is,
chord in you a little bit.
yeah, it's a little too close to home. So, I mean, dude, I feel for you. Just everything we said, I feel like we've kind of covered most topics, and we're kind of just babbling at this point. So,
Yeah.
we need to get at least
hang in there, G.
we need to get at least 2 Donnie questions in,
Love
because
you,
he
G.
sends like 13 a week, or like 13 in like every 2 days. So we need to get at least 2 of these down. Real quick, do a Donnie segment thing.
Now it's time for the Donnie segment.
Donnie Vice.
Donnie Vice.
So this is our first Donnie question. We're just going to do 2 of them right now, even though I think, let me see. He sent 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He sent at least like 8 over the past few days.
Okay.
So this one is, I know Manscaped is used to clean up around your noodle, but if they put a 2-year sponsor deal on the table today, if you either 1, shaved your head, or 2, shaved your mustache, what would be your choice? And for those 2 years, you had to shave head or face daily. So I think this was, it seems almost like this was meant for me, but I think this could be meant for both of us, because if we got a Manscaped deal.
I would shave. I'm not shaving my head because I'm like already like losing my hair, so I'm gonna keep it as long as I can.
Okay.
So I would go with the face. At that
So you'd
point.
shave your face completely.
Yeah, I would hate it, but I would.
Shave your face for 2 years. I feel like I'd like to hope my hair is still going.
You have a strong head of hair. Like yours,
But-
mine's thinning a lot. Like
I really I look like 13 if I don't have facial hair, so I feel like at least if I shave my head, I could just wear a beanie for 2 years.
there you go.
And
yeah,
then
and
like
you're
'cause for a
already
while,
a beanie.
Because for a while I had
Yeah.
shaved head and I just wore a beanie and I was like fine with it. I was like, okay, like it wasn't like, shaved bald, but it was like buzzed.
Yeah.
And I just wore a beanie and it was fine. So like I'm not happy about this decision, but I
Yeah.
think that's where I would go. I think
Okay.
I'd shave my head. Ask me
Yeah.
in a few years and maybe I won't if I start going bald. I do lose a decent amount of hair.
If my hair wasn't thinning, then I would gladly shave my head because I would just to see what I look like.
yeah,
'Cause
I'm kind of
I've-
interested in that. I've never
yeah.
had that.
'Cause, like,
my
I-
head is weird though. Even when I buzz it, it looks weird. Okay, well,
don't
that's
know,
that
yeah.
one. Let's get through this next one fast because we went on that advice forever. Have either of you ever been a part of a menage a trois? Was it female, male, or male, female? So I think that 3-way? Is that what menage a trois
menage
is?
a
Yeah,
trois?
that has to be 3-way.
A 3-way. Threesomes.
Yeah. No.
No.
I've been offered a few times. I've
I've almost had the opportunity. But
That's what all
didn't
fucking
work
men
out.
say. Oh, almost at
It was like right there, right fucking there.
I had I had a few things where a chick would message me. So I guess if I answered my situations that almost were female, male. I do either or though. I don't fucking care. But my situations that almost were that like a girl wanted to like fuck, and then she also had like another girl that she wanted to fuck like at the same time, and she was like, "Hey, I'm gonna message them." But then the other party was kind of like, they were like they were like, and I even talked to them after too, because I saw her at a party, and then she was like, "Hey," so because it was literally an out of nowhere thing. Like the one girl was messaging me, she was like, "Hey, I'm gonna message this other chick because I think she's hot, and I'm just gonna ask her if she wants to like have a three-way with you." And then she messaged her, and then she was just like, "Oh, I don't know." And then I talked to her later, the chick that she messaged. She was like, "Yeah, actually, like I really thought about it. Like I wanted to say yes, but she was like, I wasn't like into the girl that much."
Oh, okay.
So she was like, because she said she was like, the girl's like a little like bigger than her, and she was like, I feel like she's kind of like dominating. She was like, I like dominating. And she was like, I don't know if that was gonna work. So she was like, yeah, I wasn't down.
Yeah.
I've had a few stations. Not the other one wasn't like as similar as that, but it was like fairly. It wasn't like the dominate thing, but it was pretty much just like, So
Okay. Yeah, that's because that's usually like guys are always down like for threesomes if they're thrown their way.
Yeah.
But like it's usually hinges on the woman.
Jason, what about you?
Yeah, only once, I think. Just the one
Oh, you had a
time.
three-way?
Only one. And then an almost one.
Male, female, or female,
No,
male?
it was two cousins.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Oh,
Lucky
so
me, huh?
incest three-way.
Nice.
Well,
nice.
I
That's
guess.
the devil's three-way.
I guess they were
That's
like
what, that's I don't
they
think
were
it's,
like
I don't
fourth
think
cousins or
male
some
female is
stupid
the
shit, but-
is the devil
okay.
three-way. I think it's
The
the
devil's
incest
three-way.
three-way.
yeah, they were like fourth cousins or some shit.
They were
I
fourth
don't care.
cousins. It doesn't fucking
Didn't matter
matter.
to me.
You
I
can
don't
eat your
give a
fourth
shit.
cousin's pussy.
Oh yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I think
You
yeah.
eat your third cousin's pussy though.
Then that's
Can you eat your
that's a
third
line
cousin's
right
ass?
there.
It was good. It's all right.
See, eating ass would be like on a. You couldn't do that until your fifth cousin,
Oh, okay.
fifth removed or something like that.
Okay,
yeah.
it's a step the other
Yeah, I
direction.
think so. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
well,
they were married or some shit. I forgot. It was stupid. But I don't
cousins
care.
were married.
No, it was like by marriage or some shit. It was like they weren't actual blood cousins.
Okay,
no.
I thought you said the cousins were married. I was
no,
like, that's
no,
even better.
They were cousins by marriage or some stupid
Oh,
shit.
I
but
see.
Yeah, I
Okay.
didn't care. It was all right.
Gotcha.
Well,
gotcha.
guys, we covered a lot today: abuse, cancel culture, family trauma,
Booty holes.
booty holes. Did we? No, that was in music before.
That
that was music. Yeah,
That was
yeah,
music
that's
before.
true.
These people don't see that.
No.
Y'all
don't see that.
and
Bella.
and cousin fucking.
Cousin fucking.
I think that's cousin
Pretty
fucking
much.
is a good way to
It
end
is.
this.
Yeah.
So,
all right.
Jason, you want to tell the people what you're about? You want to plug anything?
No, I'm pretty boring. It's just me. That's it. I'm just me.
Sean, you want to plug anything?
I'm gonna do the same thing Jason just did. I'm just me.
That's it. There's
I'm just me. I do what I do.
That's it.
You know.
All right, guys. And I think that was another episode of Donkey Fellatio.
Very good.
See you guys next week.
Bye, guys.